Okay, guys, it looks like we are live, and I'm going to be completely honest. I have never been this excited for a live stream because what we are doing in this live stream is the new Flock Patreon League that we have going over on Patreon. We are making this a live draft. Now, you know, the majority of real Dynasty drafts that you actually do, there's slow drafts where you're on the clock for about 8 hours and it takes a few weeks to complete it. No, this league, because we had such a long list of people wanting to get into these Patreon leagues, what we were able to do is I was able to say, hey, we are going to have a draft go off at 6 p.m. on Central Time. I'm sorry, actually Eastern Time on Friday. So if you can make it, get your league dues in right now, claim your spot, and we're going to be live streaming it. So this has been in the works for a little bit over a week now. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place, guys. This is literally such a big deal. We have never done this before, and the draft goes live in 10 minutes. Okay, so we have so many things going out. Okay, let me send out a notification for everybody in the group chat that we are now streaming. Before we get into the draft, I'm going to have to explain the league settings to everyone. I'm sorry I'm all over the place, but guys, this is a big day. Please let me know if we have anything going on that's wrong with the stream. This is a new microphone. Thanks to everybody supporting the show on Patreon, we actually were able to get a new microphone. So, okay, let's calm down, Mason. Let's get this going. It's going to be so hard to stream and actually draft at the same time. We have a lot of practice with it with all these mock drafts, but obviously those mock drafts, I don't have money on the line, and we've already made trades in this league. Trades have already been going back and forth. So I'm going to have the league chat pulled up at the same time as we are going through and trying to set up this live stream, just so I can make sure that if anything goes wrong, we can fix that as commission of the league. But draft goes live in 8 minutes. So let me get out this link right here, and then we should be good to start diving into the league settings. And please, guys, don't skip forward to just the draft, because the league settings are going to be so important for understanding our strategy going into the draft. I'm not going to dive into exactly what my strategy is right now. I'll recap it after the draft, at least after the live stream. That way we're not getting consistently sniped on all of our players. But okay, anyway, let's go through. Okay, we have confirmation that the new mic sounds great. Perfect. Really excited to see that. Okay, Noah's saying Mason better say that he made a trade with one of the stand-up guys in Dynasty. Okay, Uzi saying take a shot. Yes, sir. Honestly, I should have taken a shot for this stream. We should have had a shot ready to go for you, Uzi. I'm sorry, my man. If we were ever going to be doing shots on the stream, it would be this stream. But anyway, let me pull over real quick. Let's get the draft board up so y'all can see the trades that have already been made before we actually dive into the league format and everything. Okay, so here is the draft board. Now, the league format is going to be super flex. So obviously you can start up to 2 quarterbacks. You're going to start a total of 11 players. On top of this, you're only needing to start 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. So you have a lot to work with in your flex spot. And I know a lot of people are going to be seeing that we have a kicker going here. But no, guys, please don't think we are actually starting kickers in this league. We are actually just having kickers loaded up in the startup draft because you can use them as rookie placeholders. So no, we're not going to be drafting kickers. Just like the last Patreon Flock League, this is actually just a way to draft rookie picks. So after the NFL draft, we can have another draft that is going to be exclusively rookies. So yes, Superflex tight end premium, so 1.5 points per reception for the tight end position. It's also going to be 1.0 PPR for both running backs and wide receivers. And additionally, all players get 0.25 points per carry. It may be 0.2. It's either 0.2 or 0.25. Not going to make a major difference in whatever your strategy is, regardless. So outside of that, I don't think we need to cover any other league settings. Yes, it's going to be a very deep draft just because I want you to be able to go get your guys. Like, we scroll down here, we're drafting 36 rounds. I know a lot of people don't like to go that deep, but I think it gives a good shot for the people who really know what they're doing, the people who are doing the research to dive down and get those players after round 25. They're going to be at a little bit more of an advantage rather than the guys that just go and pick up the best option off the waiver wire every week. But the draft should be starting in about 6 minutes. So we are going to be looking at a 90-second clock. Now, I'm going to switch it back to the full screen of myself. Actually, I guess we can dive into the trade that we made before the start of the draft. Okay, so you can see we randomized the draft order. We pulled the 104. Now, we decided to trade the 104 back to just the 109. So we're not drastically falling down the board. And we also get to move up in the 2nd. We get to move up in the 6th, and we move up in the 8th. Now, obviously, the reason we get to move up 3 picks here and we're only having to move back 1 is just diminishing returns, where it's kind of like exponential. When you're drafting these players, we understand that at the very top with the Patrick Mahomes, the Christian McCaffrey, the Saquon Barkley, those top tier players, they're going to be worth so much more than the players just around later. So because of the diminishing returns, the difference between these 6th round picks are going to be less than the differences between the 1st round picks. So that's why we got to move up an additional few spots. But the reason we did make the trade back is A, I like the value that we got with the trade, and B, there is a specific player that I'm going to be looking at with that 109 pick. I'm hoping he falls to us. If he doesn't, there are so many other options that we can go with. But yeah, I don't really want to cover any of the other trades in this league so far, but let me make sure we are going back to this screen, and I just want to pull up the league chat in case anything goes wrong in the last 4 minutes leading up to kickoff. But anyway, we have a donation coming in here. Thank you so much, Alejandro, saying totally off topic, but would you do the 104 rookie pick for the 411 startup and the 308 rookie pick would be getting Watson here? Okay, so essentially this is a very simple trade. You're trading the rookie pick 104 for Deshaun Watson. I don't want to be looking at it through the lens of startup picks, because then it's just going to make it way more confusing for everybody involved. And also the rookie pick 308, man, the historical hit rate of that pick is literally, obviously, I'm pulling this off the top of my head, so I could be wrong, but I believe it's around 7% that you're actually going to get an impact player in that range. So, yeah, no, man, that's not valuable at all, but getting Deshaun Watson is. And like I've said before, I'm willing to lean into the risk. I'm willing to lean into the uncertainty. So, yeah, I'm going to be going with Deshaun Watson over the rookie pick 104, because if Watson misses this season, well, then hell, I'm going to go productive struggle. But if Deshaun Watson only misses 6 games or maybe 4 games, we don't know yet, then you just had a league difference making trade. And we know that when only 1 out of the 12 people in your league actually wins the title, those are going to be the deals you're looking for. Okay, so I want to remind everyone, guys, we are getting this draft going in 3 minutes. I just want to go through and see if we have any other questions. Okay, Noah also telling us to take a drink. Guys, let me know. Let me know if y'all really want me to get a drink going. I can go grab something out of the fridge right now. I'm not a big drinker, but we can do something just because this is a special night. It's Friday. We are getting a Patreon Dynasty startup draft going. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to actually stream it. What we're going to be doing is this draft is going to go for 2 hours, and then I'm going to pause the draft just because we can't be streaming for 5 hours like we were doing during the regular season, just because I don't want to go that far down the board and continue to try to commentate over it. Okay, so JJ is saying, who does everyone think Mason's going to want to draft first? Yeah, guys, I don't know if we can be getting that out. Okay, so everybody pretty much is sounding like they want us to take a drink. Okay, how about this, guys? This is how we're going to decide it. We have over 70 people watching the stream right now. If this stream gets 45 likes, that's where we'll draw it. 45 likes, and I'll go grab a drink, and maybe it'll be a shot. We'll see what's in the fridge. We will see. Maybe it's just some wine. We'll figure it out. Okay, Hero Killer saying he'll take a shot with us. Okay, guys, we got so many things going on right now. Okay, 2 minutes. Also, guys, I know Uzi was out here for the birthday live stream, but back on my birthday in October, whenever we were full on live streaming every single night on the main fantasy football channel, I actually had a night where every donation, I forgot the amount that came in, but every donation up to a certain amount, I would take a shot for, and it was wild. Obviously, we took down the live stream. Obviously, I couldn't have people watching that later on. So if you missed it, I'm sorry. Maybe we'll do it again for my birthday this year. But yeah, that was absolutely wild. Okay, Ron Chapman saying if we start drinking, I'm going to draft Juju in the first round. Man, I'm going to draft Juju at that 109 regardless. I will tell you that. Okay, it looks like we got over 45 likes. Yeah, so it looks like as we are gonna be drafting in 1 minute, I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick. Okay, guys, also I'm gonna let you know I'm not a big drinker. One drink will affect me. I will almost guarantee you that. Let's dive into the board so y'all can see the board as I run to the kitchen. But okay, so yeah, draft is going in literally 50 seconds. Let me run. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that hold up, guys. Hopefully the draft is starting. Maybe I need to actually go in and physically start it as commish. Let's see. No, we're drafting in 15 seconds. Going right now. Okay, so here's what we grabbed from the fridge. Like I said. Okay, so let's go. Okay, Jaden saying he was there for the birthday stream where we were taking shots for donations. Yeah, that was wild. Like I said, no way my body could handle that for more than one night a year. So that is maybe just something we're gonna have to do as a tradition, where if we saw the support that we saw last football season, maybe I just stream on my birthday, every single birthday for the rest of my life. But we will see. And let's get this going. Okay, that was actually pretty good. Not gonna lie, that was a good decision by us. Okay, so let's begin the draft. Let's get this going. Daddy Soul on the clock. Actually, crap. It's a 2-minute clock, but whatever. We are gonna let it go as a 2-minute clock. I want to give people the opportunity to go through and actually think about their picks. But the first pick, obviously, you're not gonna have to think about Patrick Mahomes. That's a surprise to no one, as this is a super flex startup. So it's basic to see Mahomes there. Nothing really to say. And I will say, this isn't going to be like the mock drafts. I'm not going to be giving you my honest opinion the second after the draft pick goes off, because say I think that running backs or wide receivers are overvalued in a certain range. I don't want to be saying, oh, I don't like picking a wide receiver here, because I want more people to continue to pick a wide receiver, so we get some running backs, tight ends, quarterbacks, whatever we want falling to us. But we're far away now that we can talk about Kyler Murray going off at the 102. Now, like I said, this is a super flex league. Kyler Murray is in that second tier for me. Kyler Murray is with the other running backs. So I don't mind the pick. I'm not saying I love it. Y'all know that Kyler was a player that I was actually really high on last offseason, and he was my 105, only behind Mahomes, Lamar, CMC, and Saquon Barkley in Dynasty startups. Then he comes out and has a very impressive sophomore year. So, yeah, I'm completely fine with him there at the 102. But anyway, Mikey up at the 103. Taking Dalvin Cook. Okay, that is... Okay, where did Mikey trade up from? Okay, he traded up from the 111. So if he really wanted Dalvin Cook, then I can't say anything on it. But I will tell you something. If Dalvin Cook fell to me at the 109, I wouldn't have been taking Dalvin. I will say that for sure. But anyway, some more running backs coming off the board with CMC and Saquon Barkley. John saying Mason is going to take Saquon. Yeah, if Barkley was there at the 109, that would have been my guy. Now, I am kind of hating that I traded back from the 104. I didn't think that CMC was going to be available for me there. But, yeah, I can't get behind taking Dalvin Cook ahead of Christian McCaffrey. I simply can't. Let me know what y'all are thinking in the general chat. I would rather read your opinion through this draft rather than having to give my opinion, just because, like I said, I have my own money on the line, guys. I'm trying to win this league. So I can't just be giving away exactly what I'm thinking. Okay. So let's go through. Austin asking, what's the buy-in? The buy-in is $60. Ja Webb saying, how are you in college and how are you and a lightweight at the same time? I'm in college and I'm a lightweight at the same time because I have a full-time job, and to go along with that, I'm graduating with 2 degrees, big fella. So I'm taking over 20 hours of classes, working probably 50 hours a week. I don't have time to drink, to put it simply. But anyway, Jonathan Taylor going off the board here at the 106. Okay, we are going to be in a very interesting spot. I need to stop talking and I need to go through and I need to start looking at who we're going to possibly be drafting. Okay, obviously, every wide receiver is still available. Every tight end is still available. If you're looking at the running backs, you have Kamara, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, Nick Chubb, CEH, Aaron Jones, Jacobs, Zeke, Dobbins, Akers, Sanders, Gibson, Eckler, Montgomery. Okay, so really you're all over the board here. Okay, Josh Allen goes. Josh Allen would have been intriguing if he would have fallen to the 109 for me. Now, oh my gosh. Okay, this is going to be interesting here, guys. I'm going to be honest. Maybe it's the sip. I wanted Josh Allen at the 109. I guess we are not going to be getting him. Let's see here who Hero Killer right before us decides to take. Okay, Birdman says in the league chat, I'm so glad he went off the board. Left my ass off. I can't deal with that pain again. Referencing Saquon Barkley going off at the 105. Yeah, if Barkley would have lasted to the 109, I guarantee you I would have drafted Barkley at the 109. But Hero Killer up at the 108. Okay, let's see it, man. Let's see who you are going to be leaving me with at the 109. Now, we are going to be having I don't want to say back-to-back picks, but we are going to be having picks in a similar range. So I don't want to be saying right away who I would have gone with if I passed on a certain player. Okay, so guys, let me know in the chat right now, who do you think I'm going to be going with at the 109? Spam it over and over and over again. That way I get a feel for it. Lamar Jackson at the 108. I'm not going to lie. Lamar was my man. Congrats. You sniped me. I wanted Lamar in this format at the 108. Now at the 109, we are in a tough spot. Okay, I really wanted Lamar for this format. I'll get into why probably later on in the draft. But now, god dang, we are in a tough spot. I'll tell you this, we're not going to be going with wide receiver. It's pretty much going to come down to, do we want a quarterback? Do we want a running back? But that one hurts. I thought there was a near certain chance. If you look at Patreon, if you look at our ADP, I thought we were really going to have this shot at Lamar Jackson at the 108. But now we are going to have to go off the board a little bit here. I will say that. Guys, I'm tilting. I am straight up tilting right now. I think what we do is we go with a pick that, to be honest, I'm not too excited about. I think we go with Justin Herbert. I think we go with Herbert. Now, I'm not going to lie, Girthquake, you got the best of me. I wish I did not make the trade moving back from 104. But we are going to be taking Justin Herbert at the 109 after getting sniped on both Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Those were my guys that I wanted in the first. But let's take Herbert. Let's move on. Let's not let it shake up our round 2 pick. We got to stay with it. We got to stay with it. Stay focused here, Mason. Okay, Swift going off at the 110. Now, like I said, not going to be commentating too much. Let me know what y'all are thinking in the general chat here, just because I have a pick very soon. So I don't want to be telling you what I'm wanting just because I want that player to fall. Okay, Trevor Lawrence essentially going off here. I want to remind everyone, if you're just now joining the stream, no, we are not playing kickers in this league. What you have to do is you have to draft kickers, and that's going to be the rookie pick that you select. So if you take the first kicker, you're going to get the first rookie pick in the rookie draft after we have the NFL draft. So there, seeing Justin Tucker go off the 111, we can almost guarantee that's going to be Trevor Lawrence unless something crazy happens in the actual NFL draft. Okay, Baskin saying Swift was a better pick over Justin Herbert. Yeah, man. The reason that I decided to pass on Swift, I'll get to when we take our second round pick, but Cam Akers goes off of the 112. Really like that Cam Akers pick there, not going to lie. God, y'all are really tilting me here. I'm not going to lie. Okay, Mark saying you're going to be happy that you have Herbert. Yeah, guys, trust me, I love Justin Herbert. I was drafting Justin Herbert everywhere last offseason. I mean, I have Herbert in so many leagues. That's why you find my teams a lot of the times in those Patreon flock leagues trading away Justin Herbert right now to get Cam Akers plus another piece, to get J.K. Dobbins plus another piece, just because I have Justin Herbert on so many teams. I mean, one flock league that we do is actually a best ball league, and I traded Justin Herbert, a quarterback that I drafted everywhere last offseason, for Tua and Chris Godwin. Tua was a quarterback I didn't have a single share of, so I liked getting that switch. Okay, so let's go through, and Tick is saying I just now got the Discord notification. That's weird. Man, that is very weird. I have no idea. Okay, Austin saying Alvin Kamara is the best value right now. Okay, here. Justin Jefferson going off the board as the first wide receiver. I think Justin Jefferson in our other Patreon startup draft went maybe in the 3rd round. I wish I had that draft pulled up at the same time so I could be referencing the two, because we are still going and drafting in that other Flock Patreon league. Okay, but anyway, let's see. Alvin Kamara goes off the board here at the 203. Okay, so now we are going to be asked again, are we going to be going quarterback or are we going to be going running back? Okay, so the best quarterbacks on the board essentially are Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, and Dak Prescott. The best running backs available are Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Zeke, Miles Sanders, Antonio Gibson. Okay, so let me give y'all a little sneak peek a little peek behind the curtain with what I was thinking with that Justin Herbert pick. Okay, so I was looking at the Herbert pick and I went, you know what? Justin Herbert, in my opinion, is probably the best quarterback in this range. And Swift, Akers, Dobbins, Kamara, they're all in a similar range for me in terms of the running backs available. I bet that one of them falls back to me with the 204. Clearly, that did not happen. This draft is not going our way. So what we are going to have to do here is we are going to have to take my quarterback, that is going to be Russell Wilson, going QB to start this draft. That way we do have a lot of flexibility going forward. We're not going to have to reach on a quarterback when we possibly see the quarterback run happen in this league around round 4, round 5. We are just going to be able to sit back. We're going to be going, okay, y'all can be the ones that have to reach on the guys that we don't know if they're going to be starters in the NFL 3 years from now. But we have Justin Herbert and Russell Wilson as the corner pieces of our team. It's going to be interesting to see if Hero and Cam decide to go QB here, because there are 2 QBs left still in that top tier in Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott. Then you're going to find that massive drop-off to Deshaun Watson, kind of in his own tier at this point, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to be wanting to say that Dak Prescott is in that same tier with Ryan Tannehill, but no, I think you still have to have Dak clearly ahead of Tannehill, clearly ahead of Tua, clearly ahead of Jalen Hurts, just because we've seen it before and we've seen what the NFL does as disciplinary measures. Okay, so Ja Webb and John, pretty much everybody is surprised that we took Russell Wilson over Dak Prescott. Yes, guys, Russell Wilson has been a top 10 quarterback in fantasy every single year over the past 9. You don't have to worry about age at the quarterback position. Russell Wilson is not coming off of a significant injury. It looks like he is actually staying in Seattle. So Russell Wilson, an elite quarterback historically in his efficiency to go along with this. He can run the ball to go along with this. We're not worried about quarterbacks flaming out at the NFL at 35, 36 years old. I think Russell Wilson is one of my favorite picks in the second round of Dynasty Superflex drafts this year. Okay, Robert saying Hero Killer is going to sweep y'all this season. He went Lamar and Dak. Yeah, no, man, I'm not going to lie. I really wanted Lamar in the first. I really wanted Lamar. I will say that. Okay, so let's go through, see if we have any other things in the chat. Okay, Dakota is saying he should go Chubb or Dak. Yeah, here, I understand, man, Dakota, where you're coming from. Trust me, I've played in a ton of points per carry league, so I know what you're talking about. And yes, I trust me, now that Swift, Akers, Dobbins, Kamara went before we got back up on the board in the second round, of course, if we were looking at this draft board, what I probably would have done, given the format, is we probably would have gone Akers, then Wilson. We just simply didn't know that we were going to have all 4 of those running backs going off before our second round pick in Russell Wilson. Okay, so now it looks like Joe Burrow is going to be the best quarterback available on the board. If you go to running backs, it's kind of hard to determine at this point. Wide receivers, it's just your choice of guy. Tight end, it's your choice between Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Darren Waller. So I think we are kind of in a flattened tier at this point. It's going to be interesting to see where these next few guys go. We are not going to be up on the board again until the 304. That's why I feel comfortable just talking about some of those top players across all positions. Okay, so let's go back. Let's check the chat that we have going in the draft, seeing if anybody's saying anything. Okay, Jack Apples is saying, my start, my God. Let's see where you're at, man. Swift and Kamara. Yeah, Kamara, y'all know I really like avoiding those running backs once they get on their second contracts, but even a running back on the second contract, Alvin Kamara, with the elite efficiency that he's had so far in his NFL career, at the 203, I'm completely fine with that investment. Kamara is also a little bit different than traditional running backs in that once you see those running backs get the second contract, very rarely are they guaranteed multiple years. This is the case of like a Derrick Henry, and why I don't necessarily love him in fantasy, because he really only has guaranteed money left in 2021 when he's 27 years old. This season, we go, crap. So if he's a 28-year-old running back next offseason with literally no guaranteed money, what are we going to be projecting his long-term value to be? And in the case of Alvin Kamara, in the case of Ezekiel Elliott, in the case of Dalvin Cook and Christian McCaffrey, all those second contract running backs actually have guaranteed money for a decent while. Okay. Garrett saying, yeah, my Swift and Kamara start is too good. Yeah, man, I like it. Like I said, Kamara, generally, I like to be avoiding those running backs, but we just talked about why I don't necessarily mind it. Let me know what y'all are thinking with Kamara, with Drew Brees leaving, with Jameis Winston possibly being the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints this year. Now, my personal favorite start out of this entire draft, actually, is going to be NFO Island with Saquon Barkley and Joe Burrow. Now, y'all know I'm on record saying Barkley is still my running back 1 in Dynasty, as Barkley not only has shown that he is an elite receiving running back, not only has he shown that he is arguably the most talented running back in the entire NFL, but out of all these guys in this top tier, He is the running back that is still on that rookie contract. Between him, Christian McCaffrey, and Dalvin Cook, the top guys that you would project for this upcoming season. So that's why I have Barkley as my Dynasty running back 1. And Joe Burrow, the difference between him, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, it is not that large. So I think that right here, that's a fantastic start that you have seen to this Dynasty startup draft. Okay. So let me know what y'all are thinking of Alvin Kamara. I'm genuinely interested because Kamara is going to be one of the most polarizing players in fantasy this year. And also I see that we have over 50 likes in the live stream. Thank you so much, guys. That is absolutely massive. And also, if y'all are wanting to get in our next Patreon Dynasty startup and you're already over there on Patreon, just shoot me a DM, say, hey, Mason, add me to the Dynasty startup list. And we're doing things a little bit differently from draft to draft, where we are going to be doing these Dynasty startups all off season. So if you've already messaged me wanting in a Dynasty startup on Patreon, I promise you, you are going to have your shot to get in one. Now, if we are going to be doing slow drafts where we just draft over the course of the week, because I acknowledge the fact that people work, people have jobs, people have kids. Now, maybe that's not my situation, but I understand that a lot of y'all have those obligations where you can't sit here and you can't just hang out and draft a fantasy football team over the course of 2 to 3 hours. So we are going to be doing those slow drafts as well. But in the case like this, what I'm going to be doing is over on Patreon, I'm just going to be making a post and I'm going to be saying, hey guys, we have a live draft going at this time. Get your dues in now, and then you can come through and you can join, as long as your name's on the list that you actually want in the startup. Okay, so Girthquake here, times out, taking Tyreek Hill. Man, if you tell me in the chat right now, either the live YouTube chat, but preferably the sleeper chat, because that's what I pulled up, what player you would want besides Tyreek Hill, I will go through and I'll make that change right now. Obviously, we're not necessarily doing that in a mock draft, but no, guys, this is a real money league. This is a decent amount of money up at the top. Okay, Girthquake, tell me, who do you want? Tell me right now, my man, and then we can get that switch for you. Just because I have no idea what you're doing, but I understand that you have that maybe something threw you off. So let me know what you were wanting, and then we can switch that ASAP. And yeah, guys, if y'all are looking at this sleeper ADP, that's one bad thing about sleeper. Sleeper is just horrendous with their ADP. That's why over on Patreon, actually, this isn't even behind a paywall. This is free for everybody to find on Patreon. We actually are collecting our own Dynasty ADP, and I'm putting it up there for anybody wanting to check it out. Now, it's exclusively Superflex, so if you're playing in a one-quarterback league, I am sorry. But, yeah, go and make sure you check out that ADP instead of the sleeper ADP. Okay. Girthquake, man, who do you want? Let me type this out. Tell me who you want right now. I do not want you being stuck with Tyreek Hill. I mean, if that's who you want, that is fine. But please, 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 try to come into the chat right now and let me know. Okay, yeah, guys. Also, if you're just now getting in here, okay, so he wants A.J. Brown. So we are going to change this player to A.J. Brown. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And if you're just now getting in, okay, these kickers, obviously we're not drafting kickers in this Dynasty League. They are rookie placeholder picks. Okay, so if you see Young Hoku going off, this is the second kicker on the board, what you're actually seeing is you are seeing the rookie pick 102. So after the NFL draft, then we are going to have our rookie draft. And here, Big Drip JCLW is then going to have the opportunity to have that rookie pick 102, either take a Justin Fields, take a Najee Harris, a Travis Etienne, a Trey Lance, whoever he wants. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is not going to be there, but he's going to have the opportunity to pick whoever he thinks the second best quarterback available is. Okay, so running backs are really flying off the board right now with Nick Chubb and Aaron Jones both going off the board at the end of the second round. So not going to lie, this is messing me up here, guys. I was not expecting this draft to go like this. So we are maybe going to have a change of heart. Maybe we are going to have to come up with a backup plan here. Okay, so actually, I know one guy we are going to be going to if he falls to us at the 304. So we have a plan for the 304. Hopefully we actually get to execute it. Miles Sanders going off the 301. So if you did not grab your first running back like we did not here, you are in trouble. I will say that. Okay, Nick is saying Big Drip has both the 101 and the 102. I did not even notice that right now. Okay, so let's see what that trade ended up being. So he has the 101, the 102, and then later on in the draft, he has a decent amount of picks to go. Okay, so he has a very scary start if you're talking about a long-term dynasty build. Okay. So also, guys, if you're just now getting into the stream, I want to reiterate what the league settings are for this league. Okay, so you start 11 total players. It's going to be 1.5 PPR for the tight end position. It is a full PPR for both running back and wide receivers. But notably, and why you're seeing all these running backs fly off the draft board, it is also a 0.25 points per carry. So that's why you have these guys going earlier. I'm not going to lie. I completely agree with the value assessment. I think that it's actually very smart to be taking an Antonio Gibson, a Clyde Edwards-Helaire over an A.J. Brown in this format. Now, the reason we decided to go QB here is I didn't understand that everybody else in the flock was going to have this same viewpoint. I did not understand that we were going to end up getting sniped on these running backs in the back half of the first round. So I applaud y'all. Y'all are currently kicking my ass, and we are going to have some work to do this offseason. That is for sure. Okay. So let's see if we have any other questions right now. Let's go to the chat. Jack is saying Mason's a bit too tipsy. Yes, sir. I've had about 3 sips of this, and I'm about to fall out of this chair. I will tell you that. Also, guys, let me know how the mic sounds. I am still trying to get used to having a real mic, and I probably spent way too much money on it, but y'all let me by supporting the show on Patreon. So I want to give y'all a massive thank you for that. Okay, so here we have the 103 going off the board, and not going to lie, I really wanted the 103. I think maybe here we have to actually go with the 104. I really wanted the 103 here. Now we're put in a tough spot because we're essentially looking at 2 players. We're looking at the 104. We're looking at George Kittle. And now if this was not points per carry, I would be completely overlooking the 104. And the reason for that is because there you'd be expecting that you're going to get one quarterback in Trey Lance, Justin Fields, maybe get a running back in Travis Etienne or Najee Harris. But because this is points per carry, those rushing quarterbacks like Justin Fields, Trey Lance, they are going to be getting a massive, massive bump up. That's why I wanted Lamar Jackson, because points per carry actually bumps up quarterback scoring to go along with the running backs. That's a big thing that most people overlook. So I think what we do here is, while I love George Kittle, while if this wasn't points per carry, he would most likely be the best value on the board, and that's where we would be going. I think if we take the 104 and then we just let Big Drip decide if he wants to go with Trevor Lawrence and then the top 2 running backs, or if he wants to go with Trevor Lawrence, then Justin Fields, and then leave us with one of the running backs. I think either way, we need either a running back, and if he wants to leave us with one of Justin Fields or Trey Lance for that elite rushing upside, given the points per carry format combined with superflex, I think obviously we would rather have the 103 before we got sniped on it, but we are going to be going with the 104 here. I hope that explanation on why we are looking at that pick made sense. Now, like I said before, we are straight up getting our asses handed to us right now. I did not expect this to go this way at all. Oh my God, guys, this is an embarrassment right now. Okay, so everybody saying get Kittle. Yeah, guys, trust me, I love George Kittle. I think he is the Dynasty tight end 1. I think that if it was a standard tight end premium league and it wasn't points per carry, I would have probably taken him a little bit before this. But the problem is it's points per carry. And here, us taking the 104, as you see Ezekiel Elliott go right after at the 305 because of that setting. And essentially at the 104, I'm saying, you know what? We are probably going to be getting Najee Harris or Travis Etienne, especially with Justin Fields now being the favorite to land in San Francisco. So yeah, I think that's why we have to go with the 304, because I would prefer one of the rookie running backs in Najee Harris or Travis Etienne over Ezekiel Elliott, even if the 2021 production may not be the same. We just understand that a running back that's going to get probably drafted in the top 40 picks in the NFL draft, they're just going to have so much more value over the long term compared to Ezekiel Elliott when we saw that drop in efficiency last year. But I don't even mind the Zeke pick. I'm just letting y'all know why you're seeing these running backs go so highly. Okay. Broncos fans saying, why would anyone do points per carry? Just because it's fun. One of the first Dynasty leagues I was actually in was points per carry. My first Dynasty league ever was actually crazy. I don't know if y'all have even heard of this league setting, but keep in mind, I'm like, this is 2014, so I'm in high school whenever this is doing it, and I just jumped right in. It was actually an auction startup, and that's not too weird. You see auction startups all the time, but what was wild about it is the rookie draft was auction. So when you had the 101, you were getting $100 for your rookie draft. And if you had the 102, you were getting $75, and so on and so on and so on in smaller and smaller increments. And a dollar amount was attached to every single pick, including seconds, including thirds. So you could go through and you could trade for a bunch of different picks, and then you could just dominate the rookie draft. There were just so many different ways you could attack it. And that's what's fun about Dynasty. What's fun about Dynasty is you can change those league settings, and you can make it where you can't just copy and paste the same strategy over and over and over again. You really have to sit there. You have to think. You have to have your player evaluations ready to go, but not only your player evaluations, but to go along with that, your league strategy. Okay. So Harrison asking, isn't the extra 0.5 PPR for tight end more important than the 0.25 PPC? No, man, literally not at all, because literally think, if you have a running back that's going to be seeing 20 carries a game, that's automatically an additional 5 points versus a tight end that may be seeing 4 receptions a game, then that's an additional 2 points. So with those running backs and a points per carry, if you can project them to see a full workload, they are going to be just hyper productive. I mean, the production is going to be straight up wild. Okay, so Great in Fitness saying Zeke is a running back 1 with Dak. Such a steal in the 3rd round. He was a first rounder last year. Yeah, Zeke was a first rounder last year, but you just have to question the workload. You have to question the fact that you saw that drop in efficiency, and I understand Dak Prescott was gone. I understand they had the offensive line issues, but Tony Pollard looked fantastic in the same situation that Ezekiel Elliott looked horrendous in. So at some point, you just have to look at it and you have to go, okay, can we predict that the end maybe is not this year, but it's coming soon for Ezekiel Elliott? And Derrick Henry here at the 309. I know that I've been on record saying Derrick Henry is a player that I'm avoiding because we are unsure of his long-term future, with him only having guaranteed money in 2021, with him also being a running back that's 27 years old. But in a points per carry format, Derrick Henry is the definition of a league winner. I am completely fine with that pick. I actually applaud that pick, because if you get 2 elite seasons out of Derrick Henry, if he is an elite running back at age 27 and age 28, you won the league 2 years in a row, because an elite season from Derrick Henry is 300 carries and all the yards, all the touchdowns go along with that. And then you just do the math on what 300 carries means in this format, and 300 times 0.25, that is 75 additional points. That's over 10. That's like 12 extra touchdowns that you're getting just because the league setting. So I actually like Derrick Henry going off the board there at 309. Okay, so Broncos fan is asking, so are you going Travis Etienne at the 104? At the 104, we're not going to have too much of an option of where we are going to be going. We're either going to be going running back or quarterback. So here, Big Drip is pretty much dominating the rookie draft so far. He has selected the rookie pick 101, the rookie pick 102, and 103. What we are saying at the 104 is we're going, you know what? He can't take Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Najee Harris, and Travis Etienne all with those 3 picks. So we are going to be getting one of those guys. And in a points per carry format, obviously everybody can understand how it bumps up the running back scoring, bumps up the running back value. But something that a lot of people are going to overlook is the fact that it drastically bumps up quarterback scoring and quarterback value at the same time if you get those rushing quarterbacks, such as a Trey Lance and a Justin Fields. So that's why we went with the 104. I'm fine if we end up taking a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields as our quarterback 3, because in this format, I think that they have the upside to be where Justin Herbert was in the start of draft this time next year. Okay, so Matt is saying running back 17 for Derrick Henry is inexcusable. These people are overvaluing the youth. Okay, so here, if you go in, man, I don't know. Like I said, I like Derrick Henry. If I would have been drafting Derrick Henry, I think the correct pick for Derrick Henry to go was most likely here ahead of Devontae Adams, because we understand that Derrick Henry is going to drastically outscore Devontae Adams given the format. And James Robinson, it's hard to say that he has long-term value to go along with him, given the fact that he was an undrafted free agent. You don't have the team investment. So yeah, I think Derrick Henry probably should have been going after this Zeke, George Kittle range ahead of Devontae Adams and James Robinson. And I like the value, but I can't say he was just completely undervalued. So the rookie pick 105 going off the board here. If that rookie pick 105 fell to us, that would have been fantastic. I would have loved to have been able to grab that additional asset. But of course, that was a pipe dream of ever happening. So if we were going now, this is why we had to grab that 104. This is why we couldn't take George Kittle, guys, because we don't pick again till the 409. And the running backs that are going to be available are just straight up disgusting. I mean, you have Jacobs, Eckler, Carson, Mixon, Hunt, Melvin Gordon, Gaskin, Kenyon Drake, Rojo, A.J. Dillon, Fournette, Ito Smith, Chase Edmonds. I mean, it's the definition of disgusting. How many running backs have you had already drafted in this league? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 in the first. Then you have 6 in the second, 4 in the third. And then we can also assume Najee Harris and Travis Etienne are off the board in the form of those rookie picks. So you have 18 running backs already off the draft board. Just a very tough spot to be in for a team like myself who doesn't have a running back yet. I mean, look at this. I just completely blundered those first and second round picks. Like I was saying, at the 109, the reason I wanted Lamar Jackson is just because in that points per carry format, if Lamar is going to be able to rush as much as he has the past 2 years, he is a quarterback that easily projects to be the quarterback 1 given the format. Now we don't get him. We panic. We take Justin Herbert thinking we're going to get one of DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, Alvin Kamara coming back to us. That doesn't happen. So we are in a tough spot and we are going to be battling uphill. I mean, I loved the start that we had in the last Patreon flock draft, but this one is looking very ugly currently. But DK Metcalf going off the board here at the 312. Really love the start that we have from Fort Knox. Just taking Akers, Dobbins, Metcalf for that young core that you can build around. Okay. So now let's see if we have anything else that we should be reading out loud. Okay, so Matt is saying Big Drip should go Lawrence, Harris, and Etienne, then trade Etienne to Flock for Fields and man, he's not going to be holding Etienne hostage. I will tell you that. I will go productive struggle. I will punt year one. I will throw a fit about it. I will tell you that. But Jalen Hurts at the 401. Jalen Hurts, I think you could call this an overdrafted quarterback if it wasn't for the format. Like I was saying, I mean, Fort Knox here needed a quarterback to go along with the fact that Jalen Hurts, similar to what we were saying with Lamar Jackson, has that elite rushing upside in a points per carry format. Those quarterbacks get the same amount of points per carry that a running back does. So yeah, I like that pick there at the 401. Now, Jalen Hurts is a quarterback that we're probably going to have to be a little bit worried about his long-term projection with having a starting job in Philadelphia. But if you're going to be going for upside, that's an upside pick there. Now, guys, if you have not dropped a like on the live stream right now, I just want to look you dead in the eyes and say, man, what are you doing? Just go fix your life. Hit that like button. More importantly, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. That way you can come out next time at the very beginning of these live streams. That way, next time we do a mock draft, you can come out and participate. That way you can vote if I'm going to be grabbing a drink for the stream or not. That way you can be hanging out with us the entire time. Okay. But anyway, yeah, Dakota, guys, if y'all don't know Dakota Stevens in the chat here, man, Baskin, let me make you a mod real quick. I think that for this channel, we may only have one mod, and that's Point God. I need to make Baskin a mod in this chat as well. Okay, let me slide. I'm trying to slide this over carefully right now. That way you don't mess up the draft board on the screen. Okay. I'm going to make you a mod. If you don't want to be a mod, that's fine. You literally don't have to do anything, but you're just going to have a little thing next to your name. Okay. JN saying I hadn't hit that like yet. JN, don't mess with me, man. I know that you logged in on multiple accounts to drop that like. Trust me, I know that by now. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we have JN. I forgot that you were a mod as well. I am sorry, my man. Okay, Tick is saying the mic looks too high, to be honest. Okay, let me lower this down. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay, let's see if I can do this, guys. Like I said, I'm still trying to get everything going here with the stream. Okay, does that look better? Does that sound better? Okay, but Lamb going off at the 402. I have one player that's on my mind for the 409 that if he falls there, guys, we are going to be having a straight up party. We are going to be popping bottles out here in the live stream. Come on, let's see if we can get him at the 409, but we are far way away, so I'm not even going to be dropping hints on who it is. Okay, so Britt asking, who are the kickers supposed to be? So the kickers are going to be rookie picks. Now, guys, please let everybody know if they come into the live chat, they're asking about kickers. The kickers are rookie picks. We're going to have the rookie draft after the NFL draft. So really just want to give everybody a shot at knowing who those rookies are going to be getting the draft capital, going to be getting the nice landing spots rather than having to take a shot in the dark. But Deshaun Watson going at the 404. Love that Deshaun Watson pick. Good job, Girthquake. Girthquake is dominating the draft right now. Man, good trade. You completely ripped me off at the very jump. Obviously, I sent you that trade. I thought I was going to get Lamar at the 109. That didn't happen. But, man, right now, CMC, Henry, Deshaun Watson. I don't like the A.J. Brown pick there. I would have preferred to see you go with the rookie pick 102, given the format. But CMC, Derrick Henry, Deshaun Watson, really like it because pretty much with this team, you're betting, you go, hey, you know what? If Deshaun Watson, for whatever reason, doesn't miss games, then I have a team that's a league-winning team right here. And I just think that's a smart bet to make because maybe Deshaun Watson misses games. Then you go, you know what? Let's pack it in. Let's do a productive struggle. I'll trade Derrick Henry away to Mason for a ridiculous price because he doesn't have a running back, and we can play for 2022. But Deshaun Watson is also another one of these quarterbacks that will rush the ball. He's another one of these quarterbacks that will get the benefit from points per carry. Okay. So Dakota is saying he hates the Deshaun Watson pick. Man, that Deshaun Watson pick was just too good a value. I understand that it doesn't make sense with the roster with having CMC and Derrick Henry, just if you're talking about being a rebuilding team versus a competing team, but value is value. And at this point of the offseason, it's April. You're not submitting a starting lineup for a very long time. You have so long to go out and make sure all the pieces on your roster align and make sense for a current win. The current time to win. So yeah, man, I am completely fine with the Watson pick because we go, hey, even if it doesn't line up with Derrick Henry's timetable, you have so long to trade one of the players away if anything happens to Watson in terms of playing games in 2021. Okay, so RCH Fishing says Daddy Soul has a sneaky team. So let's pull this up. Has Mahomes, Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders. Guys, I don't know if I can't get behind Aaron Jones, to be honest, because we're uncertain of the future of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. And with Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon's still there. I think A.J. Dillon's probably going to be getting some usage at the goal line this upcoming season. So I can't get all in on Aaron Jones at the end of the second, despite whatever the format is. I would have rather seen the 103, and then at the 103, you can get your pick between Najee Harris or Travis Etienne. I think either one of those running backs on their rookie contracts would have been better over Aaron Jones. Okay. So let's go through and see if we have anything else in the general chat. Okay, so Matt is saying, I agree, Lawrence looks just like Jay Cutler out there, acts like he doesn't really care. Okay, guys, come on. What are we talking about here? Guys, that is the definition of overthinking it. Please don't be talking about Trevor Lawrence being Jay Cutler because his demeanor on the football field. No, that is overthinking it. Okay, Broncos fans saying T-Law at the 101 till I die. Yeah, I'm completely fine with Trevor Lawrence at the 101. I think Trevor Lawrence is the solidified 101, except if one thing happens, and it's not due to Lawrence. Now, hear me out. I sent out a tweet with this a couple days ago, but now the 49ers are actually the favorites to draft Justin Fields. And let me explain to you why I would rather have Justin Fields in Dynasty if he lands with the 49ers over Trevor Lawrence. And it's not because I'm coming out here and saying that Justin Fields is going to be the better NFL quarterback. That's not the case at all. I think that Trevor Lawrence is still the better talent. I think that Trevor Lawrence will still be the better NFL quarterback. But what we are doing is we are building a dynasty fantasy football team. Emphasis on fantasy. We are not building a real life NFL team with a quarterback that we think is the most talented. No, you're building a team with the quarterback that you think is going to score the most amount of points over a long duration of time. And that is why Justin Fields, in my opinion, is going to be over Trevor Lawrence if he falls with San Francisco. Because in San Francisco, he has Kittle, he has Debo, he has Ayuk, and most importantly, he has Kyle Shanahan attached to a great offensive line. Now, in the case of Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, you're looking at DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, and a coach in Urban Meyer that we really don't know what the situation is going to look like. So even if you assume that Trevor Lawrence, a quarterback that's not going to rush nearly as much as Justin Fields, will be a much better real-life NFL quarterback, which I would agree with you on, I still think you have to really sit down there and go, who's going to score more fantasy points? Because that's the thing that matters. Okay, now we are up on the clock. We should probably stop rambling on about nothing. We can't really look at the quarterback position right now due to our team needs. I think what we end up doing is, there are 2 players I'm going to be looking at. Here. Now, the thing is, actually, no, it's going to be an easy decision for us. Okay, so 1, 2, yeah. We're going to be going with the rookie pick 106 here. So the reason we're going to be going with the rookie pick 106 is because, like we were talking about earlier, this rookie pick 106, most likely probably going to be Zach Wilson, just because you go through and you go, okay, there are going to be 4 top quarterbacks in this year's draft. You're going to have Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Zach Wilson. Then you're going to have the 2 running backs. So with all those quarterbacks, they're going to have guaranteed starting jobs over the next 3 to 4 years, even if they look extremely bad. When you get that NFL draft capital being a top 5 pick, I'm not talking about Josh Rosen. I'm not talking about a Dwayne Haskins, who both fell outside the top 10. You have such a long leash. You're going to be like a Sam Darnold, that it doesn't matter if you are very bad season after season after season, you're still going to get the opportunity to start. So here I'm fine taking the 106 and going, you know what? If y'all want to leave me Pitts, if you want to leave me Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, one of the running backs, I'm fine. Y'all decide who you want. The player I'm going to get is going to have a high historical hit rate. It's going to hold value over a decent amount of time. So I'm fine there at the 409, taking the rookie pick 106. If it was the 107 instead, where you're possibly looking at a Jamar Chase, there I don't know if we would have gone that route, but at the 106, going to be completely fine taking that at the end of the 4th. Okay. So let's go through and let's see if we have, Jake saying hammer the rookie pick. Yes, sir, guys. Jake, let me make you a mod out here as well. Guys, if y'all don't know who Jake is, Jake actually has been collecting all the ADP for us over on Patreon. And I want to reiterate that ADP on Patreon is not going to be part of a paid subscription. Literally, I just don't have any other place to put the ADP where we put it, and we don't put it behind the paywall. It's completely free for anybody to come out and look at, anybody to use during their Dynasty startup drafts. And also, Jake has been a part of the flock for a very long time now, since I want to say 2019. Jake, please correct me if I'm wrong with that. But yeah, let me add Jake as a mod. Okay, Jared is asking, how can I join a league? Guys, if you want to join a league, go shoot me a DM on Patreon. Not all of them are going to be live drafts, because I understand not everybody can make it out to the drafts actually at a certain time, because you have kids, you have work, you have actual responsibilities, but we don't have those things. So yeah, let me send this link out. Some are going to be slow, some are going to be live. I will definitely clarify before you join what is going to be what. Okay, so now after we take the rookie pick 106, you have the 107 going off the board, followed by 2 wide receivers and the 108. So yeah, now Mikey is up with back-to-back picks. If we pull up who Mikey has decided to take up until this point, he has gone Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, the rookie pick 104. No, I'm sorry. I believe that's the rookie pick 103, and Terry McLaurin. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes here. We could possibly assume that rookie pick, actually, I'm sorry, that's the rookie pick 105. We can assume that's most likely going to be a quarterback, with him not having a quarterback on this roster so far. So it looks like he has 2 running backs, he has a quarterback, and he has 2 wide receivers. So let's see where he goes now. Okay, so people asking how much was the buy-in for this league. The buy-in for this league was $60. Tyler asking, what do you think about Chris Godwin? Man, if you've been following the channel for a very long time, you know we have a long history with Chris Godwin. But at this point, I think we can say that he is a safe Dynasty wide receiver 2, still extremely young, and probably going to be leaving Tampa Bay next year, at least hopefully leaving Tampa Bay next year. That way he can find a team where he's going to get a higher target share. Okay, but DJ Moore going off the board. Please, please, please let our guy fall. We need one more pick. Please, God, let him fall. Let him fall. Come on. Let him fall here. Okay, Dakota's saying he thinks he's going to go either with Ryan Tannehill or Aaron Rodgers. I am surprised that Tannehill and Rodgers are still available at the beginning of the 5th. This is just making our Justin Herbert and Russell Wilson picks at the back half of the 1st and early 2nd look even worse. But come on, let's get our guy here at the 504. Please, 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 let him fall. Okay, Tick saying Tannehill is an absolute steal at this point, especially 4 points per carry. How many carries is Ryan Tannehill seeing a season? But anyway, our guy falls here just because of our team need. And I know you're not supposed to draft for team need. I know I say not to draft for team need all the time. But Joe Mixon is also in a points per carry league, in my opinion, probably the best value on the board right now. I mean, what's the real difference between Joe Mixon and James Robinson at this point, or Joe Mixon and Austin Eckler, and you're getting him a round and a half after? So yeah, I'm going to be taking Mixon here, not really going to be thinking about it as our running back 1, praying that he can stay healthy, praying that Burrow comes in and elevates the overall efficiency of the offense. So now we have 2 quarterbacks. We have the rookie pick 106, which we can assume is most likely going to be a Zach Wilson, a Trey Lance, or we can even go with a running back if they fall, maybe a Kyle Pitts if we don't like the landing spots for some other guys, and the rookie pick 104, which is going to be one of those other running backs. So now, with a team that I was afraid that we completely butchered the running back situation after the first 2 rounds, I think we maybe caught back up. I think that maybe we are going to be okay and good to go. But the reason I couldn't go Tannehill even if he fall there is because we are most likely going to be having to go with a QB at one of these picks, either the 103 or the 106. Okay, yeah, everybody coming in, showing some love for the Joe Mixon pick. Yeah, guys, I'm very excited to see Mixon. I believe Mixon's only 23, maybe 24. I know he came into the draft at in 2017, but he was actually only 20 years old when he came into the draft. Okay, so Joe Mixon is 24. And Joe Mixon, the bad news is, y'all know I was talking about earlier in the stream with those running backs on their second contracts, going after the guys that have guaranteed money over multiple seasons. Guys like Dalvin Cook, guys like Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, those are the veteran running backs that have that guaranteed money. And a guy like Derrick Henry simply doesn't. Well, Joe Mixon falls into the Derrick Henry category. Joe Mixon falls into the category where he doesn't have guaranteed money after this season. To go along with it, Joe Mixon hasn't been nearly as impressive as Derrick Henry. So I will say it's not the best pick in the world, but given the team construction, given the format, I think it's the clear pick. Okay, let's go. And I see that Jack is asking what the kickers are. Yeah, guys, the kickers are draft picks. And he's saying, thanks, I just got here. Well, Jack, if you just got to the live stream, my man, why don't you go down there? Why don't you drop a like on the stream? That way we can go over 100 likes. That would be absolutely awesome, my man. But yeah, okay, Hopkins, Rodgers going off the board directly after this. Now, let me know what y'all think of that value on Rodgers. I really like the Rodgers and Tannehill picks here. I think that quarterback value was absolutely fantastic, and it's making these teams like Birdman, who decided to go Taylor, CH, Kittle, Ridley, Rodgers. The teams that waited on QB here are going to be absolutely crushing because the value that you're finding down here in the 5th and 6th round. I mean, quarterbacks that are still available at this point, you are going to be seeing the drop, and especially if you just look at ADP, it's going to be nasty. They have Gardner Minshew for whatever reason at the very top of the ADP. I have no idea what Sleeper is doing with this, but anyway, you have Tua, you have Matthew Stafford, you have another quarterback, just say like a Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones. I mean, you're kind of all over the board here. You're really going to have to be searching through that ADP because Sleeper has it so messed up. And that's probably what we should be doing across all positions right now, just because we are going to be up on the clock in about half a round. Now, with our next pick, we are going to be having some flexibility because now we addressed our running back situation. It's going to be hard for us to take a quarterback given the fact that we most likely already have 3 with those rookie picks sitting on our roster. So the obvious situation is going to be looking at running back, wide receiver, or tight end. Wide receiver, there are a ton to choose from. Tight end, you can kind of say the same thing about, but we should have a decent amount of time until we're back up on the clock. Okay, Jared asking, what do you think about DJ Moore? I love DJ Moore. Guys, with DJ Moore, what you're looking at is a wide receiver that I think the Dynasty community is just tired with, because last offseason he was being valued as a third-round startup pick, and that was because he had shown fantastic age-adjusted production up until this point, and what he did this past year was still very impressive. Now, the reason that a lot of people in Dynasty wanted to bump him down is because he didn't vault himself up to that DeAndre Hopkins type target share. You ended up seeing Robbie Anderson commanding a significant amount of targets on this team. But still, DJ Moore went over 1,200 yards. Still, DJ Moore is extremely young. You have presumably an upgrade at quarterback. You have also more targets being available with Curtis Samuel leaving the offense. So yeah, I love DJ Moore this upcoming year. Okay, so now let's go through. Harrison saying, what team are you a fan of, Mason? Yeah, guys, I don't know if many of y'all know this, but back whenever I was just a young youth, back whenever I was a small child, I liked the Houston Texans. I grew up in San Antonio, but I got into Dynasty, like really diehard into Dynasty in 2014. And right when that happened, I just pretty much didn't care about the Texans at all. I just kind of went all in on only caring about players. So yeah, I really don't root for any teams, and that's the honest truth. Okay, Mark is asking, do you think you would go with DJ Moore or Terry McLaurin? They're definitely in the same tier. I would prefer to go with DJ Moore, but that's just my preference. I wouldn't really argue with anybody if they wanted to go with Terry McLaurin over DJ Moore, just because they're so close. It would just be a waste of time, to be honest. Okay, so let's go. Dakota's saying, gotta go watch baseball. Y'all keep killing the like button. Yes, sir. Thank you. Oh, I see that we got over 100 likes already on the live stream. Thank y'all. That is absolutely massive. This is possibly the best live stream we've ever had on this channel. Not the main channel. The main channel, we've had a live stream with 1,800 people in it, which is just crazy to think about now that we are in the off season, so the traffic isn't here. But yeah, I mean, this channel continues to grow. I believe we are about to pass 4,000 subscribers. So yeah, obviously that's massive, and it's because of everybody supporting the channel. It's because people supporting the show on Patreon. So I'm able to go out there and buy a new microphone. I'm able to go out there and spend more time on it. So I just owe everybody a massive thank you. Okay, Girthquake Man, you better not time out here. You better not make me go through and fix another pick for you. But let's see. I'm just interested. We are going to be up in 8 picks. Yeah, JN saying he roots for the Longhorns. Yeah, I will say that I have a lot more fun rooting for college teams rather than professional teams, because the fact that if you especially look across sports like the NBA, the MLB in particular, you have these players that play across so many different teams throughout their entire career. So how are you going to root for a certain team when you have like closers in Major League Baseball who have literally played for 11 different teams in their career? And you kind of realize, hey, they're literally just doing it for a paycheck. They don't choose where they go to work. They pretty much just get drafted. Then they go wherever they're going to get paid the most. And you see that across all sports. The NFL is a little bit different just because the players don't really have that kind of control. But still, I think that rooting for college teams is a lot more fun because, you know, every player decided to actively go play there. So that's why I genuinely enjoy rooting for those college sports more than a professional. Now, I watch way more professional sports, because I have a lot of money invested into different fantasy leagues every season. And to go along with that, they are better athletes. But if you're just talking about rooting for a team, I would prefer to root for college. Okay, so Broncos fan is asking, for Dynasty leagues, do you prioritize people who have not been in the Flock Dynasty? Okay, so yeah, I will say for those for the new Dynasty startups coming up, I am specifically only looking for people that have not been in a Dynasty league before. So if you've been in a Dynasty league before, you're probably going to be getting the cold shoulder from me when you shoot me that you won in our next startup. But I'm going to be prioritizing getting the people in that have not been in a Flock Dynasty league yet, because I want to be drafting with new people. I don't want to be playing with the same 10 people over and over again, and I want to give everyone a shot to be able to get into a Flock Dynasty league. Okay, so Jason is saying, this is the one and only reason I dislike Sleeper. The ADP is garbage. Yeah, no, the ADP is horrendous on Sleeper. I mean, how do you mess up ADP? That's something I don't understand. Like, it seems like it would be something that you figure out before you figure out anything else in the app. So I agree with you, man, that ADP is very bad. I mean, if you go to the quarterback position right now, the top 2 quarterbacks, according to ADP, are Gardner Minshew and Drew Brees. You have quarterbacks like Tua Tagovailoa still available. I mean, that is absolutely garbage. Kind of embarrassing, to be honest. But anyway, you have Fort Knox up here at the 512. Going to be interesting to see where he goes. I really like the start so far. Akers, Dobbins, Metcalf, Jalen Hurts. You have a lot of your eggs in the Jalen Hurts basket, but he does have that elite level upside, and that's what you want to do. Like I was saying with Deshaun Watson, you want to invest into those players where, yeah, if they miss the year, it can tank your season. But if they hit, you are going to be you're going to be running laps around your league mates with their upper percentile outcomes. And yeah, still killing the draft, going Brandon, Ayuk, and Tua. That Tua pick at the 601, I absolutely love at this point. Now, Tua is a player that I really didn't draft at all last offseason, but I think we can safely say that now that he's falling to the 601, knowing that he was dealing with a ton to come back from with that massive injury last year, I think Tua is probably a good value here. I mean, you also have to love what Miami is doing and putting pieces around him. Okay, Sterling is asking, do you have to join Patreon to, let me pull it over to see the rest of this question, to get into a league? Yes, you have to join Patreon to get into a league. There are a couple of reasons for that. One, because we have so many people on Patreon right now that want into these leagues, and I guarantee everybody that joins Patreon that shoots me a DM that they want in, they can get in. And like I said, guys, my number one priority with everything I do in terms of just my time allocation is always going to be serving the people on Patreon. Like, if you are a person on Patreon supporting the show, you are literally my boss. Like it's that simple. So I have to be getting the people in on Patreon into these startups. I just can't be getting anyone where there are people actually supporting the show on Patreon. If they DM me that they want in a startup, they're going to be the ones getting into the startup. Yeah, Fort Knox, I think, probably is the best start to this draft. Let's go through and let's look at the different teams in this startup. Okay, so Daddy Soul, you go through. He has Mahomes, he has Aaron Jones, Sanders, Godwin. I believe that's the 108. Then, It's Me Kush has Kyler, Jefferson, Montgomery, Andrews. I am going to say I don't like the start. I like getting Kyler Murray because he has that rushing production to go along with the points per carry format. I think where you messed up is taking Justin Jefferson in the early second. I mean, if you would have gone with Kamara over Jefferson, that team would have been very solid. Now, Big Drip, this is the team that I very much like. Obviously, it's not going to be a contending team in 2021, but still, that is a solid construction going forward. We understand that you're going to have a ton of long-term value to go with that. Now, this Fantasy Flock Network guy clearly has no idea what he's doing. I don't know how he decides to pass on these running backs at the end of the first, beginning of the second. I don't know why he decides to take a Russell Wilson there in the second round. I mean, he should be embarrassed. You guys, if y'all can figure out who that is, I would go and send him hate mail. I would do whatever you could, like spam the comment section telling him he's stupid, because he truly is, and he truly deserves it. Okay, but anyway, we are back up on the clock here at the 6:04, and I think our best course of action is probably going to be going with a wide receiver. We have yet to be able to really go through the ADP just because we've been trying to go through the chat, trying to look at across the teams. But, okay, so I see one wide receiver that I would be interested in drafting in this range. I know some people wouldn't agree with it, but I don't really care about that. Now, if we go to running backs, I want to take a player here, but I just know that he has a shot at falling to us in the next round, so I'm not going to be able to do that. Now, QB. Okay, so real quick, I think the next best rookie is going to actually be at the 109. Let me do some quick math real quick to figure out how many guys we're going to be looking at in this tier. Actually, no, we can't take the 109 over some of these players. I think what we actually end up doing... Actually, no, we take the 109. We take the 109. Let me write something down real quick just to make sure that I am having the rookie tiers 100% correct in my memory, because the rookie tiers change in this format. Okay, yes, we are going to be taking the rookie pick 109 here. Let me explain why we are going to be going with the rookie pick 109. Okay, so here with the rookie pick 109, what you're finding with the tiers in this format is Obviously, what you're going to have before this pick is you're going to have all 4 of those top quarterbacks going off the board. You're going to have Trevor Lawrence. You're going to have Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson. They're going to have no shot at being there at that rookie pick 109. But because all those are going to be going off the board, then you have to look at the other positions on what you're going to have available. Now, at the other positions, you're going to have Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts, I think we can say at this range would be fine, but I'm probably going to be assuming that someone decides to take Kyle Pitts before the 109. So if that's the case, what are we going to be looking at? Then you have 3 running backs left in Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, and Javonte Williams. Now, the first 2 of those running backs probably not going to be available. So it's probably going to be either Javonte Williams or at the wide receiver position, you have Jamar Chase. So there, if you're taking the 109, you pretty much guarantee yourself that you get not your choice, but you at least get one of Kyle Pitts, Javonte Williams, or Jamar Chase. So that's why we decided to go that route. Maybe Mac Jones falls to the 49ers at number 3 overall. Then that just jumps him up a tier, and you could be considering Mac Jones in this range as well. So that's why we decided to go with the rookie pick 109 at the beginning of the 6th round. Okay, so Broncos fan is saying, what is your best estimate for the new startup invite? Okay, so I have said that over on Patreon, we are going to be getting, at the very minimum, 3 startups going every single month. Now, it's a little bit difficult here just because we know the NFL draft is going to be kicking off at the end of this month. So, you know what we'll probably actually do now that I think about this? What we are going to be doing is we will... Don't hold me to this. Maybe I have a prior commitment that I'm not certain with, but I think next Friday we'll have another Patreon Dynasty startup go off that we can live stream. It will be definitely live streamed. It will be a live draft just because I don't want to be drafting a startup during the time of the NFL draft, because during the NFL draft, I'm going to be having to continuously update the rookie draft guide that we are going to have available on Patreon as soon as the NFL draft is done. I have everything figured out so far besides the landing spots, but it's going to be taking me so much work to update that draft guide to be getting all those landing spots in on Patreon. And then we are going to be having to live stream. We're going to be having to do a ton around the NFL draft. So yeah, we're not going to be having any startups going then, but we can live stream the next one next Friday. So of course, subscribe to the channel. Of course, make sure you go through and make sure you hit that bell so you can come out. You can participate in the chat as we stream. You can tell me how dumb my picks are, yada, yada, yada. And what we're going to be doing is over on Patreon, I will be making a post whenever we have this official announcement. Now, don't DM me before the official announcement. I'll be sending out the league settings because we're going to be changing every league setting. I don't want any league to be the exact same. And we're going to be sending that out and then filling the league probably Monday or Tuesday, just so I can make sure we get all the league dues in and get all the payment sorted out. Okay, Mark saying, love your content, man. Just join Patreon. Man, thank you so much, Mark. I truly appreciate that. Y'all literally don't even know how much the Patreon support means. Literally, I was just able to... I hope y'all enjoyed this new microphone. Let me know if it sounds the same as our old videos. I think it should sound better, but I'm able to actually upgrade the channel and do stuff like that with that support over on Patreon. Okay, so Rick is saying the new mic sounds great, but the overall volume is still low. Well, thank you for letting me know that, my man. I can crank up the volume a little bit now. Let me know if that sounds better. But Hawkinson and Fant going off the board in the 6th, really love those picks, not going to lie. Hawkinson was going to be the guy that I was going to take at the 604 if it wasn't for us deciding to take the rookie pick 109. So I love both the Hawkinson and Fant pick. Good job, guys. I want to remind everyone this is tight end premium. This is 1.5 PPR. Okay. Alex saying he just joined Patreon as well. Thank you so much, my man. That is absolutely massive. Now, don't DM me about the live stream draft next week until I have the official details out. That should be sent out. I don't want to say Sunday. Sunday, I'm actually going to be having to do graduation pictures and everything. I'm graduating from the University of Texas this semester, and that's one reason why we've actually lowered all the Patreon cost, just because on Patreon, I spend so much time doing team grades, team breakdowns, and everything, and I simply didn't have time to do 300 of those whenever I was taking over 20 hours at the University of Texas. But now we're going to have some more time, so I'm going to be spending way more time on Patreon. But yeah, Sunday, probably not going to be able to do it. Monday, I should get that going though. Okay, so we are about to be up at the 7:04, and I think we may be... Okay, no. I think we are going to be going with the rookie pick 110, but there it goes right before us. So now, thank God we decided not to go with a wide receiver here, because the wide receiver that I wanted on the board still hasn't gone. So, yeah, you like to see that. Let me go to the QB position just to make sure we're not missing out on any insane value. And it's going to be hard to just know this off the top of the head because the ADP is so messed up, and I'm trying to read the chat at the same time. That's another reason I want some of these drafts to be slow drafts, not only so we can get other people in here who may not have the time to spend on a live draft, but also so I think that I can pay way more attention. I can be way more active making trades. I made so many trades in our last Flock Patreon startup draft. That was a slow draft, not a live draft like this one. A live draft, that's the one bad thing about it, is you see some trades were made in this league, but nothing close to what was made in the last slow draft. So that's why we're going to be doing like half and half as we go through. Okay, Shane's saying it actually is Cook's mom. What? I have no idea what that is, man. Please let me know what that is. Yeah, JN saying a UT double graduate. Yes, sir. Gotta represent University of Texas. Now I'm going to be graduating with 2 degrees, and instead of going out and doing something with them, I'm going to be sitting around and running a fantasy sports network. So you love to see it. You love to see that money invested into the college degrees was worth it. But hey, what are you going to do? A decision is a decision. Okay, so come on, let's get our guy here. Big Drip. He's not going to be going with either one of our wide receivers. We want either one of Mike Evans or Allen Robinson. I'd be surprised if he goes with one just because he's constructing a rebuilding team. I don't want to even say rebuilding, more of a productive struggle. So here we're going to be looking at one of Mike Evans or Allen Robinson. Now, obviously, the quarterback situation for either quarterback isn't necessarily fantastic. I know Tom Brady is the GOAT. He is literally the best of all time, but the overall passing volume is not going to be there in Tampa. And at the same time, Chris Godwin coming back. But both of these wide receivers, if you're talking about from a pure talent perspective, they're by far and away the best on the board. And at the wide receiver position, you're not worried about the production falling off with age as soon as you would be with the running backs. So it's going to be coming down to Allen Robinson or Mike Evans. This may be our first wide receiver that we're actually drafting. So I think I could go either way with this one. But let's go with Allen Robinson. I mean, he has the potential to see that 30% team target share, and we just simply don't have that same thing with Mike Evans. And we are picking up right here, so probably I shouldn't have been talking about Mike Evans because I doubt he falls to us now. But this is the updated team. Okay, so we have Herbert, Wilson as quarterbacks. We have the rookie pick 104, which is probably going to be one of Travis Etienne or Najee Harris, whoever Big Drip decides to let fall. Then we have the rookie pick 106, which is probably going to be like a Trey Lance or Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. Then you have Joe Mixon. Then you have the rookie pick 109, which is going to be Javonte Williams, Kyle Pitts, or Jamar Chase. Then you have Allen Robinson. So I actually like the start, despite us just completely dropping the ball at the very beginning of the startup draft. I think we've recovered nicely. So yeah, we're talking about Mike Evans. Mike Evans goes directly after our pick with Allen Robinson. Let me know what y'all think about that decision point between Allen Robinson and Mike Evans, because obviously it's not something that I am 100% with, as I had to sit there and actively think out loud about it for a second. So please go and let me know what y'all are thinking between Mike Evans and Allen Robinson. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. I was just looking at that message earlier, just out of context, it looks like. Okay. Broncos fan says, could you reveal the time on Monday or Tuesday you will invite, or on Patreon, or is the unknown part of the fun? Man, I'm not going to say the unknown is part of the fun, but it's more so me just making sure that we have everything in line. It is, I'm not going to lie, a ton of work for me to be going through creating these leagues, making sure everything's operating smoothly, making sure I have the information for everyone that we can have this league last for a very long time. So it's not necessarily I am trying to be sneaky about it or just catch you off guard when the league becomes available. It's more so, what time do I have to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row and we can get these invites out and we can start collecting payments and we can get the official 12 members of the league set in stone. So I'm sorry, man. I will make the commitment that, let me look at my, okay. it's going to be easier for me to get the invites out on Monday. So we'll get the official invites out on Monday. Now, if I look at my schedule, I'd imagine that they would be around 5 p.m., maybe anywhere from 2 to 5 p.m. or a little bit later than that. Like I said, I can't give you an exact time. We will commit to it will be on Monday after 1 p.m. though. Okay, so Tio Kappa is saying Mike Evans over Allen Robinson. Dalton is crap. Yeah, guys, I will say, guys, if y'all don't know Tio Kappa, he is about the biggest Tom Brady homeboy that you will ever find. Okay, Dom Koss saying, is this best ball? If not, how many starting? No, this is not a best ball. This is a traditional dynasty league. There are 11 starters. You're going to be starting 1 quarterback mandatory, then 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, 1 super flex, 3 additional flex spots, and it is points per carry and tight end premium. Okay. Yeah, Quantum Football says it is splitting hairs, but he would go with Evans because of so y'all really think that the quarterback situation for Mike Evans is going to be good this year? I just think it's so hard to predict that. I know Tom Brady is going to be a great game manager, and I hate to use that word with him, but he's not Tom Brady like he used to be. He's not going to be having a ton of passing volume. I'd imagine it's more so just efficient play, and Mike Evans is still going to be competing with targets with Chris Godwin. I think Allen Robinson just has a much higher shot at reaching that 30% team target share, even if the efficiency with the targets is slightly lower. But after Allen Robinson, then I believe you have the rookie pick 111 and 112. Let's count how many picks have gone off the board, because that's something that's going to be relevant for our pick coming up in the 8th round. Also, guys, let me know who y'all think that we should be going with in the 8th round. I will pull up the draft board right here. Okay, so if we are going across positions, if I had to say the best quarterbacks available currently would be Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff, and these aren't in order. These are just in order that they pop up on Sleeper. Then at the running back position, you have Gaskin, Drake, Rojo, A.J. Dillon, Fournette, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert. Really nobody else that I'm seeing. At the wide receiver position, you have Lockett, Kupp, Woods, Juju, Adam Thielen, Julio, Michael Pittman, Laviska. Then going down a little bit further, you have Robbie Anderson, Cortland Sutton, Deebo Samuel, Marquise Brown, Odell, Will Fuller, Jalen Reagor, Brandon Cooks, Curtis Samuel, Corey Davis. And then at the tight end position, you have Gesicki, Hunter Henry, Dallas Goedert, Irv Smith, Evan Ingram, Logan Thomas, Cole Kmet. And yeah, let me know where y'all think we should be going. Our man, Juju Smith-Schuster, goes off the board at the 709. I don't want to say we get sniped. Our man, Cortland Sutton, goes off at the 710. Okay, now it's looking ugly. I wanted one of those wide receivers to make it back to us in the 8th round. It looks like that's not going to happen. Okay, Quantum Football says he would go with Ronald Jones. He's also saying Tom Brady is going to last until 50 years old. Man, I would be willing to bet you any amount of money that Tom Brady does not make a start in the National Football League at 50 years old. Now, I have PayPal, I have Venmo. Go to Twitter, go to Discord, whatever you want to do. DM me. We can work something out. Yeah, Garrett Watson coming in here celebrating that he got Cortland Sutton. Great pick, my man. I was hoping I was going to get him at the beginning of the 8th. Congrats. That is awesome. Okay, Shane is saying Mason looks disgusted every time he takes a sip, because Mason is disgusted every time he takes a sip, my dude. I told you, not a big drinker. Okay, Ron saying better get a tight end. Tight end is different in this format than it was in the last Flock League. In the last Flock League, you had to start 2 of them. Here, you only have to start 1, and at the same time, I'm really not going to be too interested in loading up some flex spots with tight ends. So I'll say the tight end position may not be a bad value here, but it's not like I'm in any rush to go out there and get one, especially considering the format. We have the rookie pick 109. We have the rookie pick 106. There's a chance we get Kyle Pitts with either one of those. So, yeah, I think that we can just kind of sit here and maybe not rush tight end. If we see a value that we really like, we can go that route. But our team still has so much flexibility just because we've decided to take those rookie picks. I mean, we have 3 rookie picks so far, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 2 quarterbacks. We can assume that you have one running back with these rookie picks, at least. Possibly you have a wide receiver, possibly you have a tight end, possibly you have a quarterback. You don't know yet, just because we don't have the luxury of having a 101, 102, 103 and knowing exactly what direction we're going to go. Broncos fans saying, would you ever do a quote-unquote high-stakes league? I would love to do a high-stakes league. The issue is, I don't want to be doing it through the current high-stakes provider, which is the FFPC. Now, this is not an ad or anything, and I'm about to say some bad things about the FFPC, so good thing it's not an ad. Guys, if you're playing a Dynasty League on there, I want you to go and look and see how much money you're spending in Rake. They are literally taking 25% of the league pot in every single league. Think about that. They are taking 25% of the league pot. Your chances of winning the league is 8%. The best Dynasty players in the world can't play there. Just because the rake is so high, it doesn't matter if you're the best Dynasty player in the world. Just to beat the rake, you can't beat the rake. It's almost impossible. So I would do a high stakes league, but the problem is I'm not going to do it on there. I'm not going to pay 25% for them to hold my money for a year. To go along with that, I'm not going to be asking people to PayPal me $2,000-$3,000 each, and then PayPal be looking at me sitting with that much money in my bank account and going, hey, why did you collect $2,000 from these 11 different people on multiple occasions? Then why did you send out $20,000 on this date? I don't want to deal with that headache. So yeah, I would love to get into a high stakes Dynasty League. And the last thing is I'm not going to send some random guy that comes into the live chat $2,000 so he can hold it for the league pot. Like, I think that everybody that I've talked to, nobody's had a problem with me holding the money for these leagues because A, the buy-in isn't nearly that high. B, y'all know my name. Y'all know where I live. Y'all know everything about me. Y'all can come out and pretty much ruin my quote-unquote network, the business that I'm running. So for me to steal your $60, I would be risking way, way, way more where it wouldn't even make sense. But the last thing I can do is go and send some stranger $5,000 and then hope that PayPal doesn't take it. Hope that that stranger doesn't take it. So yeah, I can't. I can't play in high stakes leagues just because logistically it doesn't make sense. Now, if a Dynasty site comes around that they don't, maybe they take a 5% rake or a 10% rake, like DraftKings, maybe if they start offering Dynasty leagues and they're taking a 10% rake, then yeah, I would love to get into some high stakes Dynasty leagues, but I'm not going to be paying a 25% rake. Okay, so now we are going to be up on the clock in 2 picks. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting. I think we maybe go off the board a little bit here. I know people are going to hate this, but I think we go off the board. I don't like it with my team construction. I think we may be forced to. I don't think we have an option. Because there's really no wide receiver value left for us. I think we may have to go over to the quarterback position. Now, someone please in the live chat try to convince me not to do this. Try to convince me not to take a quarterback here, as not only have we already locked ourselves into 2 with both Justin Herbert and Russell Wilson, but we also have these rookie picks. And the problem is if we take a quarterback here, it's going to be really hard to draft a quarterback in the rookie draft. We're going to lose a lot of roster flexibility, and we are probably going to be forced to make trades later on after the startup. But the problem is, right now, if you're going across best position available, I mean, we're in the second round in these rookie drafts in terms of taking rookie draft picks. And at the quarterback position, you have Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz, all available in a superflex league, Daniel Jones. Please, someone come out here and try to convince me not to take a quarterback. Okay, Kirk Cousins goes off right before us. What teams have a quarterback? Does everybody have a quarterback? That's going to be something we're checking out. Like, what would be our potential trade partners if we go with a QB here? Okay, so yeah, don't really need a force quarterback. Don't need a force quarterback. Don't need a force one. Don't need a force one. Don't need to. Don't need to. Don't need to. Don't need to. Yeah, everybody has at least one quarterback. Okay, a Broncos fan asking if League Safe takes 25%. No, League Safe doesn't take 25%, guys. League Safe doesn't take a 25% rake. If League Safe, I think, takes a much smaller rake than that, but FFPC takes a 25%. Um, okay, so let's go. Someone please tell me not to take a quarterback. Let's get off the quarterback page. I've had too much of the beer. Let's go over and let's take something else. I think we just bite the bullet here. Yeah, we're just going to take Julio Jones. I know people aren't going to like it, but at this point, Julio Jones, I will say something about these aging wide receivers. So the wide receivers that you actually see historically age out a little bit faster are the guys that come out of nowhere, are the guys that were day 3 NFL draft picks and they weren't the elite athletes to begin with. But in the case of Julio Jones, I know it's so hard to say this just because you had this prototypical guy just fall off this year in AJ Green. But those high pedigree players, when they come into the NFL and they are truly elite assets throughout their NFL career, they generally age more gracefully than you have with the day 3 wide receivers that come out of nowhere in year 4 of their NFL career. So, yeah, I think that we take Julio Jones and, yeah, he's 32 years old. Let's pull up the player card here. It's not an exciting pick, but I think that we just take him, and it's either Julio Jones or Matt Ryan. And I think that Julio Jones probably is going to make an impact for our team longer than Matt Ryan, and we really shouldn't be taking a QB here. Okay, Mob saying Julio at the 805 is not bad at all. It's not bad. It's just not exciting. Like you can't get excited taking Julio Jones, but this was such a dead range. Like this is one reason that slow drafts are kind of fun, because if you're on the clock here in a slow draft, I can be screaming into the void going, hey, I'm looking to trade back. I'm looking to trade back, where I can sit there for an hour. I can sit there for 2 hours and I can go, okay, do we really want to go with Julio here, or do we want to try to find a different route? Maybe go running back, maybe go tight end, maybe go QB and just try to force a trade, or we can try to move Russell Wilson or Justin Herbert out the jump. But no, this is the live draft, and this is kind of what's fun about it, because you're put in those tough decisions. Dynasty isn't supposed to be easy. That's why I like to change the formats from league to league. Okay, so let's go through. Graydon and JN both out here from the flock too. Happy to see y'all out here, my dudes. Broncos fans is telling us to get the QB. Yeah, I think if we would have gone QB, it would have been either Matt Ryan or it would have been Carson Wentz. But the problem is, Matt Ryan, you really wouldn't be that surprised if Atlanta decided to go with Trey Lance at 104. And then in the case of Carson Wentz, literally the Colts are incentivized to bench him. They literally have it in the trade details that if they aren't playing well, they pretty much need to bench him so they aren't having to go out there and give up a top-end pick. Okay, so let's go through, and Jack Apples was wanting Odell Beckham Jr. to fall. Honestly, Odell is, I think that was a mistake by me. I will be completely transparent here. I should have gone with Odell Beckham Jr. over Julio Jones. That was a mistake by me. Congrats, Hero Killer. Good call there, man. I made that mistake. JN says we're about to flame his next pick in the Flock 2. Man, is it going to be some UT player from 2007 that is just sticking around on the back end of the roster? Okay, Garrett saying he's going to get flamed for his 10th rounder. Man, you're already looking out to the 10th round. What are you talking about right here? Okay. So what round are we in the Flock 2? In the Flock 2, guys, we have another Dynasty Startup draft going right now over on Patreon, and that one's actually a slow draft. And we are, I believe, in round like 26, 27. It's getting disgusting. No, I think we're in 28, 29. It's a 2-quarterback league. I literally just took Andrew Luck. It is that gross at this point. I just went, you know what? Who is someone that if we get news sometime this offseason, he's immediately worth a first-round pick? Given the format, it was Andrew Luck. So that's where we decided to go. But I know that, I mean, I was viewing it as even if there's only a 3% chance that Andrew Luck ever has news that he is going to be coming back to football, that is still a higher percentage chance of that pick turning into something rather than the running backs or the wide receivers on the clock there. Okay, Jared saying, who do you think has the best draft? Okay, so let's go through. Let's pull up this entire draft board, and let's go pick by pick. Okay, so Daddy Soul, I just don't, I can't get behind the Aaron Jones pick or an overview of that. That can't be the best draft. Here, I can't get behind the Justin Jefferson pick. That can't be the best draft. To be honest, I really like Big Drip's draft. I think that through the first 4 rounds, he easily had the best start. I don't necessarily like the thought process here at the 6th, 7th, in the 6th and 7th rounds, but through the first 4, I think he had the best one. I don't like my draft. We're not going to look at that. Barkley, love the pick. Burrow, love the pick. Zeke, love the pick. Waller, Hopkins, Galladay, Evans, Wentz. I really like this team. This is a solid win now team with a balanced construction. Yeah, I like that team. I'm going to be interested to see what NFO Island, I have no idea how to say that, is going to be doing through the rest of the draft. Okay, Birdman, Taylor, love it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, love it. Kittle, love it. Here with Calvin Ridley, I don't know if I would have, I think you probably should have gone with a Waller. Just stacking Kittle and Waller in the tight end premium format. Then Rodgers, like that value, especially when you didn't have a quarterback. Keenan Allen, good value pick. These last 2, I think what you should have done is instead of Myles Gaskin here, I think you should have gone with either Carson Wentz or Matt Ryan, but the start was really solid. Cam, Allen, Gibson, Adams, Diggs, Thomas, Carson, Melgo. This is a solid win now team. It's really going to come down to what you get from Melvin Gordon, because in this format, Melvin Gordon could actually be really good in points per carry. If he's seeing 20 carries a game, I mean, he's going to have a floor that no other players in this range possess. Okay, Lamar, Dak, love the start. Like I said, Lamar Jackson in a points per carry format is possibly the quarterback 1. Then from there, Robinson, Eckler, Jacobs loading up with running backs. I think possibly you reached at the end of the tier with Josh Jacobs, Hawkinson, rookie, Odell. I like that team. Girthquake had a solid team here, to be honest. CMC, Henry for elite running back upside. The only problem is I think Girthquake would have had the best team if instead of going with A.J. Brown, he went with the rookie pick 102. If he went with the rookie pick 102 over A.J. Brown, given this league format, I think that would have been the best team. Jack Apples, Swift, Kamara, Kelsey, Hill, Higgins. This is a very, very good team. Okay, so if we're going to go through and address our favorite teams in this draft, I think the best teams are Fort Knox, Jack Apples, Girthquake, Hero Killer, and NFO Island. Okay, Broncos fan says, now that you have graduated, what career do you plan on pursuing? To be honest, I was going to be going to physical therapy school, but now, based on the success that not this channel, more specifically our main fantasy football channel had this year, it makes a lot more sense for me to continue doing this, especially with all the support that y'all showed on Patreon. Like, I've been doing this as a job for pretty much 10 hours a day for the past year now. And I literally don't feel like I'm working. Like, it's just nonstop fun. B, if y'all continue to support the show on Patreon, it looks like this will be my work, and I can do this for 10 hours a day for the next God knows how long. So that's what I'm going to be doing from now on. I will tell you that, Broncos fan, but thank you so much, my man. Okay, so let's go and Garrett Watson. Hey man, what is your team name here? Who are you? I do not know your team name. I know I probably should know that, but let me know. Okay, Chase Edmonds going off the board here in the 8th round. I think James Conner, specifically in a points per carry format, actually kind of hurts Chase Edmonds. I know that James Conner's made of glass. I understand all of that. But still, James Conner's going to take goal line touchdowns away. Presumably, Edmonds, not saying he's a bad pick here in the 8th, but I think it would have looked much better without Conner. Yeah, and I'm sorry I didn't make a specific Chase Edmonds and James Conner video on YouTube, guys. I did make it on Patreon, but I just didn't want to sit here and talk about Chase Edmonds and James Conner for 15 minutes. Okay, Ron Chapman saying we are on the clock in the other Patreon flock draft. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We will make this selection at the 904. Then we'll tab over to the other draft, make a disgusting pick. I believe we're in round like 28, 29, and then we'll come right back to this. Okay, but we need to figure out who we are going to be taking pretty soon. Now, there's a player that I want to take that I know is going to look like a reach, but I think it's the correct decision. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what we're officially looking at with the 904, because this is where it gets to a point where you can kind of go off board. You don't have to be a slave to ADP. You can do some funky things, and I think that's what we're going to be trying to do here. Ball is Live says, where do we value Matt Ryan if they don't take a quarterback? If they don't take a quarterback, Matt Ryan, I mean, we understand that he doesn't really have access to that top 5 overall upside anymore, especially in this format, because he's not going to run the ball at all. And that's one thing that made me kind of avoid the Kirk Cousins, the Carson Wentz, the Matt Ryan, the Jared Goff tier, and where I really wanted to take a QB with Julio Jones, but simply they didn't possess the upside to be one of those top quarterbacks because they aren't going to run the ball. So if you're asking me in a vacuum, I think you could see Matt Ryan be a high-end quarterback 2 for 2021 based on the fact that he is throwing the ball to Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. And if Atlanta doesn't take a QB there at 4, you're going to expect them to either take Pitts or trade back and pick up extra draft assets. So yeah, and Matt Ryan, I think that you could really like him if you're playing in like a 6-point passing touchdown league, or if you're playing in a league where you get 1 point for every 20 passing yards. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. I know I say that every single time I'm on the clock. I say that every time I'm on the clock, but okay. Here, I think it's a sign. Actually, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I was going to say it's a sign that Sam Darnold just went off the boards for us to take Robbie Anderson, but no, we're just going to take Robert Woods. Robert Woods, you have to be excited about Matthew Stafford coming in. Also, the consistent production that he has given you over the past 3 years now in the Sean McVay system. So yeah, we're going to take Robert Woods. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we're going to run over to the other Patreon Dynasty League. We're just going to be putting this draft board down. Let's go over to the Flock 2, and let's see who we are going to be looking at. Team need literally doesn't matter at all here. Okay, so we are in the 28th round. We just took Drew Sample, but look at the players going off the board here, guys. You have David Moore, Greg Ward, Matt Breida, Deshaun Jackson, Le'Veon Bell, Darwin Thompson, Marcus Johnson. Literally like nobody you can get excited about. So what we are going to be doing is we're going to be going, actually, no, I can't go way off the board. I think we take Duke Johnson. I know he's a free agent. Do we have any updates on Duke Johnson on a potential landing spot? So you would have a salary cap more than $5 million, so the team will move on instead after playing in all 16 games in his first season with Houston in 2019. Blah, blah. The thing is, if we draft Duke Johnson here and he signs, then he is immediately worth more than he was before. But instead, I'm not going to be going way off the board. There's a name that I have in mind that maybe if we get back to me before we end the live stream, I'll fill y'all in on. I'm going to be taking Duke Johnson here just because I know he's not going to be back at my next pick. But we can, I'll give y'all who we are going to be getting if we didn't go with Duke Johnson. We'll get him in the next round just because I know nobody's going to take him. He's literally like in the thousands in ADP. Mob saying Bobby Trees perpetually underrated. Yeah, Robert Woods is just the definition of consistent. I mean, every single year he's going to be giving you that wide receiver 2 season. So in the 9th round, I'm fine taking him. Now, we also have kind of an identity crisis in this league in that we have a combination of these rookie picks and these veterans. I mean, Joe Mixon, definitely a win now asset. Allen Robinson, Julio Jones, Robert Woods, all win now assets. So we're probably going to be seeing if we can land one of these. We're going to be seeing if we can land the rookie running backs in the draft. And if not, if we're having to look at a Kyle Pitts, maybe then we're just probably going to be looking to trade Kyle Pitts for TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant, plus a small piece. Okay. So Ron is telling us to pair Gage with Julio later in the draft. To be honest, man, y'all know that I talk about correlation with our rosters all the time. I talk about wanting to get those stacks with the quarterback and wide receiver position, or even possibly wanting to do it with getting a guy like Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones going, you know what? If Matt Ryan comes out and he puts up an MVP type season like we've seen before, then you can see that 2019 year that you had from a Mike Evans and a Chris Godwin. You can see that happen with Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. But in the case of Russell Gage, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be drastically bumping him up our rankings just because we got Julio here, but it's something that we could consider in the later rounds. Craig is saying Robert Woods get those carries also. Man, I'm not going to lie. That is actually a great point, because you go, hey, if Robert Woods gets 25 carries this season in this points per carry format, at 25 carries with 0.25 points per carry, that's equivalent to about a receiving touchdown. So you're getting, throughout the course of a season, the additional production of a touchdown just sneakily given the points per carry format. So I really like that, man. Okay. Jonah is saying, Mason, I'm big drip. I want your 104. Man, send me an offer right now, and then we can go look at the offer on the live stream, and I can talk out of my ass and be an asshole and say I don't like it and then decline it. But send me an offer, and then if you do, let me know in the chat, and I will go and pull it up on the live stream. Okay, Budhead asking us Sam Darnold or Jared Goff. We're going to be going with Sam Darnold here. I think Jared Goff's most likely the better NFL quarterback. But like I was saying earlier with our Justin Fields, I don't even know how to say that. Our dream that he goes to San Francisco. This is fantasy. We're talking about trying to get production here. And I think that in the case of Sam Darnold versus Jared Goff, you would much prefer the quarterback that is going to be throwing to Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore with a much better coaching staff. We understand that Joe Brady and Matt Rule looked fantastic in their first year calling plays for Carolina. So yeah, I think you go Darnold. Okay, also guys, I see that we have more likes on the live stream than we have live viewers. That is absolutely crazy. So thank you guys. I really, really appreciate that. Okay, so now Tyler Boyd going off of the 908. I really like that Tyler Boyd value. Let me see how many rookies have actually gone off the board. That way we kind of know in the 10th round if we want to be looking at a rookie. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so that's the 203. So now the next best rookie is the 204. Don't kill me if I got that wrong or if I skipped over one. Garrett saying Mason is going to roast my 10th rounder so hard. Man, I'm waiting to see this. Let's see what it's looking like. Broncos fan is asking us if we have any pets. Yes, I have a pet. She's not even a puppy anymore. She's a Great Pyrenees. She's a 100-pound dog, and I will pull her over and I'll show her on the stream at the very end of the stream if that's something y'all would like to see. We used to do that during the football season all the time when she was just a little puppy, and it was kind of easier for me to pick her up. But yeah, I'll show her off on the stream if that's something y'all would want to see. Philip is saying, did DeAndre Hopkins fall too far, or is that right? Okay, so let's pull up where Hopkins went. So Hopkins went at the 505. So the question is pretty much, who do you want between Diggs, Ridley, McLaurin, Godwin, Moore, Hopkins, Thomas? I mean, to be honest, they're all kind of in a similar tier for me. I would definitely prefer the guys that weren't at the wide receiver position in that range. I would prefer the Mixon. I'd prefer the Tannehill. I'd prefer the Waller. So it's more so up to you. I mean, that wide receiver tier, I can sit here and I can try to guess who's going to finish with 0.3 more points per game this upcoming year, or you can just go with your own personal preference. So I'll say Hopkins, it was a fair pick. You're going to see him going anywhere from the mid-4th to the mid-5th, but that was more so based on the format and where that wide receiver tier fell rather than anything to do with Hopkins himself. Okay, so Joe asking us, what rookie pick would you give for Sam Darnold? Would it be the same as what the draft is showing? Personally, I probably would not be willing to give the 201, 202 for Sam Darnold, just because in that range, you're going to be looking at a wide receiver that I would be really excited about. But I think it's fair. If you have a team need of quarterback, I'm fine with it. I'm just not going to be just extremely willing. I'm not going to be excited about doing it. I'll put it that way. Okay, Quantum Football says Hopkins over Godwin and DJ Moore, but for me, it's really close. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could sit here and I could say that I would prefer having DeAndre Hopkins over Chris Godwin, but it's close enough to the point where I'm not arrogant enough where I think I need to sit here and argue about that. I can say, you know what, I can be wrong. I'm completely fine being wrong in that case. Okay, so it looks like Mikey is actually on auto right now. Let me message him in the chat, see what's going on, and tell him to get his ass in here. But this is a paid draft, so if he wants to go on auto and he wants to donate his money to the league pot, that's on him. Okay, I will update his pick if he needs it. Obviously, if that player's selected after you, man, you're kind of shit out of luck, but let me see here. Okay, I just messaged him to get in here. Hopefully he gets a notification or something. Okay, Balls Live says, love the Debo pick. Here with Debo, the problem is two things. A, obviously, he's made of glass. That's something we have to discuss because not only has he shown that injury history at the NFL level, but he also had it in college too. So at some point, you have to look at it and you have to go, you know what? Things are kind of stacking up for Debo Samuel at this point. The next thing is, okay, he's playing in an offense with George Kittle, who is going to be the number one target on that team. And there's nothing else you can say about that. Then Brandon Ayuk clearly looked better than Debo Samuel in 2020 when they were both healthy and on the field at the same time. So it looks like Debo Samuel is an injury-prone wide receiver that's going to be the wide receiver 3 in his offense. So yeah, you can sit here and say he's very talented, but in the terms of how many fantasy points he's going to be scoring, I don't want to say that he's some fantastic value here. He's not a bad pick, but I don't know if we are going to be extremely excited about it. Okay, so Broncos fan says, in a Dynasty startup, I have 0 first rounders, 0 second rounders, 2/3, 5 fourths, 2 fifths, 3 sixths, 1 seventh. Would you punt year one? No, man, I think I've answered a similar question to this in either on Patreon or in a live stream before. But no, I mean, if you think about it, you can build a dominant team, assuming this is a superflex league. If you're in a 1 quarterback league, you are going to be in a tough spot, my friend. But if you have right now 2 third-round picks, just say they're mid-thirds, you could be walking away with Ezekiel Elliott and George Kittle. And this is if you want to build a contending team. I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm just showing you the possibility of you going, hey, crap, maybe I can be a dominant team. You can go Zeke, Kittle, then you have 5 fourths. You can go, oh, crap, maybe I need some QB production. Let's take Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, say you want to take him in the 4th round. Then let's go Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill. So your team so far is Zeke, Kittle, Rodgers, Watson, then Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs. Then you go through, you have 2 fifths, 3 sixths. Yeah, man, you are golden. Do not worry about that at all. Okay, so Jameis Winston going off the board at the 10:03. Love that value with Jameis. One problem is he's not going to give you any carries in this format. That is something that we need to point out. But still, I mean, he is going to be a starting quarterback here. Okay, Alex is saying Woods will have more volume with Stafford. He is also not a bad deep threat. Yeah, I really like I like Woods this year. Okay, so Garrett, let's see where he's going. Garrett has been talking about us hating his upcoming pick. Okay, Garrett, did you tell me what your team name is one more time? I'm so sorry. Let me know what your team name is one more time. Okay, and also, guys, this is going to be a live draft for another 20 minutes. Then after that, we're going to switch it over to a slow draft, and I'm going to end the stream. But A.J. Dillon going off the board, that pisses me off so much. A.J. Dillon is the player I thought about taking in the 9th, strictly because with points per carry, if he ever got the opportunity in Green Bay, he would simply be a league winner. Fantastic pick with A.J. Dillon in the 10th round. Now, I know if this was a regular league, no, you don't want Dillon in the 10th here. But given the format, that is a fantastic pick. Congrats, Girthquake, taking him in the 10th round. I love Girthquake's start. Okay, so Garrett, his guy was Jameis Winston, so he is Jack Apples. So, man, I like Jameis. I mean, it's not a I thought you were going to be going way off board or something. I think Jameis is a standard pick there as the starting quarterback for the Saints. this upcoming year. So yeah, man, good pick. I don't really have anything to say about that, my man. Okay, so Robbie Anderson going off there. Robbie Anderson's also another wide receiver that we would have considered in the 9th round. I really like the fact that Sam Darnold is coming in for Robbie Anderson because we can assume that he's going to be a little bit more willing to take shots deep. Also, Curtis Samuel leaving is going to give more targets available to Robbie Anderson. And Anderson was highly productive last year. So I love Robbie Anderson going forward. Okay, so there are a few players that I am still excited are on the board. Let me know who y'all think I should be going with here. If we go best available at the running back position, you have Drake, Fournette, Raheem Mostert, Zach Moss, James Conner. At the wide receiver position, you have Marquise Brown, Will Fuller, Jalen Reagor, Curtis Samuel, Corey Davis, Henry Ruggs, Denzel Mims, Jarvis Landry, Michael Gallup, Devontae Parker. At the tight end position, you have Hunter Henry, Jared Cook, Dallas Goedert, Chris Herndon, Evan Ingram, Logan Thomas, Cole Kmet, Zach Ertz. So yeah, I think there are a couple different ways we could go. There's one player that stands out in my opinion. Obviously, you can also go with a rookie pick, but I am not too excited. Okay, Broncos fan asking us to show the dog before we end the stream. Yes, sir, I'll definitely show the dog. So yeah, I will show the dog before we end the stream. I promise that. She's out there in the living room right now, probably wanting in here. She always cries to come in here all day, just wants to lay in the room, literally next to me. I roll over her tail all the time trying to record, and I end up having to just lock her out of the room whenever we record. Okay, Cam also going off the board in the 10th next to Derek Carr. Yeah, I love seeing these quarterbacks going. Not saying they're a bad value, just simply we have too many quarterbacks on this roster as is. Okay, so come on. We are up in one pick, but here, NFO Island pretty much has had it down to a T and taking guys that I'm interested in. So he's probably going to be taking this guy that I'm thinking of here at the 10:08, but we will see. We will see. Come on, let him fall. Let him fall. I'm not even going to give a hint to who it is just because I know that we do have a lag on the stream, but I think that he should probably be able to hear us if we say anything about him. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to that A.J. Dillon pick in the 10th round. I know like if I put up a screenshot of this on Twitter that people are going to go and roast that A.J. Dillon pick just simply because they don't understand the league settings. But a big thing about Dynasty is not caring what the crowd thinks and just going, you know what? There's a reason that only one person wins the league. And okay, Damian Harris. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Whew. Okay, now let's get our man loaded up in here. Dallas Goedert. Now, this is why I was saying I wasn't too worried about getting a tight end earlier. I believe Ron told us that we needed to get a tight end whenever we were in this like 7th round range. And I was saying, I don't really need a tight end. We can wait until we see a value come with one. So we are going to be taking Dallas Goedert in the 10th. Dallas Goedert, if y'all been following the channel for a very long time, after his rookie year, way back, I actually said that he was drastically overvalued in Dynasty because back then he was a 7th round pick in these Dynasty startups because he had a very impressive rookie season alongside Zach Ertz. And a lot of people were excited about the talent that he was. And I was saying, you know what? He is drastically overvalued. Zach Ertz is going to be there for the next few years. And it's absolutely ridiculous that now we are finally assuming Zach Ertz is gone and Dallas Goedert's price is lower in Dynasty than it was when everybody was so excited to invest into him for the long term for this day to finally come. And now it's here and his price is even lower. Okay, so Ito Smith going off. What is happening? So that is clearly a misclick. Tell me who you want. Tell me who you want. Okay, tell me who you want. Oh, it's me, Kush. Let me know, and I'll make that switch for you right now because obviously that Ito pick was a mistake. Okay, so he wanted Fournette. Yeah, one bad thing about Sleeper as well, not only the ADP, but also the fact that they don't have a confirm draft button. That is something that's annoying. It's too easy to just accidentally click the wrong button. It is way too easy. We had that problem over and over and over again in the other Flock Patreon League. Broncos fans asking, would you trade the 201 for Daniel Jones? There, it's going to depend on a couple things. What's the quarterback scoring looking like? Obviously, this is a super flex league, but is it 4-point passing touchdown? Is it 6-point passing touchdown? Do you get minus points for interception? Is it 1 point per 25 passing yards, 1 point per 20 passing yards? Also going to depend on how many other flex spots you have to be starting a wide receiver, because if you have 4 or 5 other flex spots, then that 201 is going to be a little bit more valuable, because wide receivers in that range are a little bit more valuable. Okay, so now let's be going through and just trying to get a pulse on best available player at each position. I swear, I think maybe, oh my God. I wanted to act like we were looking at the running backs and quarterbacks because I wanted Curtis Samuel to fall to us in the 11th round. That was a fantastic pick. Hate to get sniped there on Curtis. Now, we are going to be going with a wide receiver here. Now, I understand a lot of people are going to hate this pick, yada, 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 but he's shown flashes at the NFL level. He's still young. He's still in an offense where he's not competing with that many people for targets. We're going to be going with Marquise Brown here in the 11th round. Now, I know that looks gross, but we wanted Curtis. We wanted Curtis. Okay, so now let's go through and update everyone on the roster. So we have Herbert, Wilson at the quarterback position, just being the core pieces of this roster. Then we have the rookie pick 104, which is probably going to be a Travis Etienne. It's going to be a Najee Harris. It's going to be a Justin Fields. Or we can really see anything happen in the NFL draft, obviously. Then after that, we have the 106, going to be a Kyle Pitts, going to be one of those previous players that we mentioned, just whoever falls. Then we have a Joe Mixon. Then we have the 109. That's going to be more so a Kyle Pitts, a Javonte Williams, a Jamar Chase, maybe a Mac Jones, depending on where Mac Jones lands up. Then A-Rob, Julio, Robert Woods, Marquise Brown, and Dallas Goedert. So we get our quarterbacks and our running backs with these 2 quarterback picks here and the rookies as well. Then we take our veteran wide receivers later and get our value tight end. Okay, so someone's saying they can't see the left side of the screen. Let me know if y'all are having this problem as well. I did not realize this. Okay, y'all can't see the complete left side of the screen. There we go. Sorry, guys. I wish we would have known that at the very beginning, and I would have fixed that. Corey Davis going right after Marquise Brown. Corey Davis is a great pick as well, especially with Zach Wilson coming in. Can't fault that at all. Yeah, and people pointing out that for this points per carry format, that Curtis Samuel's going to have the same thing as Robert Woods, where he's going to be picking up extra carries to go along with those receptions and those yards. So yeah, Curtis Samuel, I really like the pick there. But anyway, guys, I want to give a 10-minute warning. We are going to be pausing. We're not going to be pausing the draft, but we are going to be switching it to an 8-hour clock after this, and I am going to be ending the stream in 10 minutes. Now, it's not a guarantee, but it's 99% likely that we are going to be live streaming another Patreon Dynasty Startup Draft next Friday. Now, don't DM me over on Patreon that you want in until we have the official details posted on Patreon. So if you're on Patreon already supporting the channel, just be on the lookout for that. And of course, we're going to keep everybody posted. Here, Birdman auto picks Kenyon Drake. Man, like, what is going on here? This is how you know we need to pause the draft and we need to switch it to a slow clock. Okay. So let me come through and see if he wants someone else. In a mock draft, we wouldn't do this, but this is a real money draft. Okay. So yeah, we are going to be going with another 10 minutes. And like I said, guys, if you want to come out to our next one, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn that notification bell on. That way you know when we are live. And maybe we'll do a mock draft as well this weekend. That way we can get some people that maybe aren't over on Patreon involved in the stream, because that's something that I'm wanting to do. I just have to prioritize everybody that's supporting the show on Patreon and creating these dynasty startups. And okay, Dakota coming in talking about Winston getting eye surgery. Let me know if y'all think that's actually something that matters. Now, trust me, Winston is my guy. Winston, back in 2019, won me multiple fantasy titles just because, yeah, he was a very bad quarterback, but the volume was ridiculous. Still, let me know, do y'all think that the eye surgery is really anything with Jameis Winston? Because what I'm concerned with is, why did Taysom Hill get the start when Drew Brees went down last year? That's the one thing that I want to be looking at. Okay, Okay, so Birdman came in and he said he wanted Jarvis Landry right after Cam took him. So now we're going to try to figure out who his second option is, because I'm not going to be able to take that pick away from Cam. Obviously, if you time out and then someone else after you takes the player you want, that's on you, and I can't really do anything about it. Like if you time out and you need your pick switch and the player hasn't gone yet, then yes, we are going to be fine with that. But let's try to get this going ASAP. Okay, so Alex is saying Winston also went through three different coaches. His trajectory got thrown off due to the horrible mismanagement. Yeah, I mean, at the same time, we can sit here and we can say, hey, in a parallel universe, Jameis Winston is the league MVP. But in the case, his development got thrown off. So what does that mean for his value going forward? That's the question. Okay, Birdman says he's going to take the L. Man, to be completely honest, I don't mind Kenyon Drake in this format in the 11th round. Like, that's why I wasn't jumping the gun to try to change this for you, just because Kenyon Drake is decent in the points per carry. Okay, Alex is saying, didn't Ito Smith get released, and why is he on the top of the ADP? The reason he's on the top of the ADP is just because Sleeper has about the worst ADP that you are ever going to find, ever. Okay, Paul's saying, eye surgery doesn't matter. Graydon's saying, so Winston wasn't in the market to be stolen from them when Brees retired. If he performed, he would find a big payday elsewhere. Man, I see that thought process, but at the same time, you would think that the Saints, when they're going all in on Drew Brees' last season, that they wouldn't be willing to hold out like that if they thought Jameis Winston gave them a better shot at winning. Okay, Ruggs going off in the 11th. Really like the Ruggs pick there. I know Ruggs really disappointed fantasy owners, and probably the one mistake that I made in rookie drafts last offseason was overdrafting Henry Ruggs, but he's also 21 years old, and there are going to be so many more targets available now in Las Vegas. So I'm fine with Henry Ruggs in the 11th. I actually really like Henry Ruggs in the 11th. Now the question here is, where do these... Oh my God. I just saw something that I don't know if I was supposed to see. Hopefully, the player I just saw, he doesn't make it back to our 12th round pick, because we're going to have to take him and I don't want to. Okay, so let's go through. And Broncos fans saying OBJ/Watkins. What about that, man? Okay. Tick Bryan says, how does the 0.20 to 0.25 points per 100 yards change your view of QBs? Well, just think about it, man. So if you are getting a point for every 20 yards versus 25 yards, and a quarterback throws for 300 yards. So if quarterback throws for 300 yards and you're getting 0.25 points per yard, I'm sorry. If you get 1 point for every 25 passing yards, quarterback throws for 300 passing yards, you get 12 points for that. If you go through and get a point for every 20 passing yards and a quarterback throws for 300, you get 15. So that's a difference in 3 points per game. That's the difference between close to an entire passing touchdown. That's a big deal. That's going to make you want to go a little bit more for those pocket passers and not necessarily need to make sure that every quarterback you select is going to be running the ball, because it balances the scoring a little bit. I think maybe with how the NFL is going forward, it would be a good idea to make it where quarterback scoring is a little bit closer to the 6 point per passing touchdown and the 1 point per 20 passing yards, just because, I mean, guys like Baker Mayfield in fantasy really simply don't have upside, because if Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, is going to be rushing for 300, 400 rushing yards a season, I mean, he's just going to be crushing Baker Mayfield. Okay, Ron says, here's a helpful tip for you guys drafting now. When you get in the 20s, check out players with an ADP of 999. Yes, sir. I agree with you there. I agree with that. Okay, but we are going to be live for another 5 minutes. Then we are going to be going through and just pausing the draft, switching it over to a slow draft, and finishing it off the stream. But I appreciate everybody coming out to the live stream. We had a ridiculous amount of likes. We are closing in on 4,000 subscribers. And I saw some people said that they are now supporting the show on Patreon, which is absolutely massive. And I want to give everyone a thank you for that. This was probably one of the best live streams we've had on this particular channel. So yeah, I owe everyone a massive thank you. I owe everyone a thank you that is currently a part of Patreon and decided to participate in this Dynasty League. I had a ton of fun. And even though it didn't go exactly how I planned, and I would have preferred to see me end up with some running backs in this range, it's a lesson learned. We're going to try to get better next time. I like how we recovered with those rookie picks, possibly getting some rookie running backs coming in, as well as Joe Mixon in the 5th round, and then filling out our wide receiver depth later on with the veteran guys later. So, of course, I'm feeling better with my Dynasty game after the startup draft than I was before. That's the number one thing that you want to be doing with Dynasty startups, is just getting your reps in, feeling better. That way with the next one, you are better than you were previously. Okay, yeah, I forgot, guys. I agreed we were going to be showing the dog at the end of the live stream. I will go grab the dog real quick. I mean, y'all absolutely killed this live stream. The least I can do is grab the dog. Okay, so Broncos fans saying between Odell Beckham Jr., Sammy Watkins, and Amari Cooper, who do you like the most? Okay, the reason, guys, we have those jerseys behind us is because, like I've said so many times, 2014 is when I really dove into Dynasty. That's when I was all out. And if y'all don't know, Odell Beckham Jr., Sammy Watkins were a part of that 2014 draft class. And Odell obviously put up one of the best rookie seasons of all time. Sammy Watkins, most people don't know this, was about the best rookie prospect at the wide receiver position that you're ever going to find. It doesn't matter if you're a film guy. It doesn't matter if you're an analytics guy. Sammy Watkins checked every single box. And that's why he was selected in the top 5 by Buffalo. And I just loved Sammy Watkins coming into the NFL draft. Amari Cooper, also another wide receiver that checked every single box coming out of Alabama in 2015. So that's why we have those jerseys behind us, because it reminds me of whenever I fell in love with Dynasty Fantasy Football with those draft classes coming in. And to be honest, my favorite prospect out of the 3 was probably Amari Cooper, just because he was so polarizing in Dynasty whenever he came in. Michael Crabtree outproduced him the first 2 years. And every podcast you would listen to, because all I would do, guys, I'm not joking, back in 2014, 2015, I would sit there and I would probably listen to 8 hours of Dynasty podcasts a day. I was obsessed, and it consumed my life. That's why I do this now. That's why I'm very good at Dynasty. But every podcast you would listen to, you bring on a guest and they say, what do you think of Amari Cooper? Amari Cooper, is he going to be one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, or is he going to be a bust? And you never had a single person saying, you know what, Amari Cooper is going to be decent. You never had someone saying Amari Cooper is going to be a low-end wide receiver 1 or a high-end wide receiver 2. It was either Amari Cooper is going to be the best wide receiver we have ever seen. He is going to be Randy Moss. Or you had people saying, hey, Amari Cooper isn't ever going to be able to beat out Michael Crabtree on the Raiders. And you had no in between. So just thinking about that, thinking about back when I fell in love with Dynasty, I have to say Amari Cooper is my guy. But anyway, let's pause this draft. Let me go. I'll leave the draft board up here. Let me go grab the dog, and then I will come right back, show her off in the camera. I will remove this video capture. That way y'all can, cancel. I do not want to completely remove it. I'll hide it. That way y'all can see the entire draft board, take a screenshot if y'all would like. And then let me go grab the dog, and yeah. Okay, she is coming in, guys. She is a monster. Come here. She's 100 pounds. She just turned 1 year old, so she was a puppy. I know y'all probably can't hear me because I'm probably too far away from the mic, but come here. As y'all can see, she is very, very, very big. Especially, she's probably going to get a little bit bigger because she just turned 1 and her dad was a monster. But I know, baby, you're a good girl. There you go. But yeah, if you haven't seen her, there she is. Thank you all for coming out. And yeah, thank you all for supporting the show on Patreon. And I will see y'all.